right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for the running of today's NASCAR Xfinity Series ToyotaCare 250 from the Richmond International Raceway. Our second stream of the day, our second of three on the weekend, and our first race live commentary stream this weekend as we have NASCAR Xfinity and NASCAR Cup Series flag-to-flag coverage coming for you yet here again this weekend. Easter weekend, of course, here for NASCAR, as we've seen the last couple of years. They've ran races on Easter, really ever since the post-pandemic era of NASCAR. And today it is the Xfinity Series turn around this 3/4 mile short track. A 250-lap race will be the scheduled distance for this one. They are currently having the national anthem go on. The race is on Fox Sports 1 if you're wondering where you can watch, but obviously you can watch and or listen live to the live commentary right here on the channel. We'll have coverage for you for that one, not only with my own commentary, not just with my own commentary throughout the course of the day as well. We'll go through the starting lineup for today's races. We're getting things kicked off here this afternoon. Parker Retzlaff is going to be on the pole for this one. His first career pole and the first for Jordan Anderson Racing. Brandon Jones outside of the front row qualified in second. Cole Custer, Chandler Smith in row number 2, both former Xfinity winners here at Richmond. Chandler Smith, the defending race winner at this racetrack. Justin Allgaier, Corey Hyman, row number 3. Hyman making a start, of course, as a full-time truck regular. Truck's off this weekend, so Hyman the Xfinity race for the Hunt, I almost said Hunt Brothers, that's pizza. Sam Hunt Racing 26 Toyota, and Justin Allgaier has won 2 races here at Richmond in the Xfinity Series, both in 2020. Row number 4 is going to be AJ Allmendinger, Jesse Love. Allmendinger, another former winner at Richmond. Parker Kligerman and Eric Almirola will line up in row number 5. This will be the 4th start for Almirola this season. Sam Ayer and Shane Van Gisbergen in row 6. SVG came close to a win last weekend, was battling on the last lap, ended up losing positions due to a track limits penalty there, but needless to say, looking to put up another good performance here today. Sammy Smith and Riley Herbst will line up in row number 7. Row 8, Ryan Sieg and Austin Hill. Hill, of course, came close to a win last week, ended up finishing in second when it was all said and done after the SVG penalty, and obviously has been the front runner for the championship here in the early going of the season. But he's got his work cut out starting mid-pack here this afternoon. Jeremy Clements and Anthony Alfredo in row number 9. Row 10 is going to be Brendan Poole and Sheldon Creed. Jeb Burton, Ryan Ellis in row number 11. Row 12 is going to be Kyle Weatherman and Haley Deegan. Leland Honeyman, Josh Williams in row 13. Williams really trying to get that monkey off its back so far this season. It has been a terrible run of things at Colleague Racing, both from a qualifying and race performance, so looking to get a good finish out of another poor qualifying effort again this weekend. Taylor Gray in the 19 car this weekend for Joe Gibbs Racing. He'll be on the inside of row 14 with Bladen Perkins to his outside. Josh Malicki and Ryan Vargas in row 15. Row 16, the return of Matt DiBenedetto making his first top 3 Series NASCAR start this season. He'll be on the inside of row 16 with Logan Bearden on his outside. Dawson Cram and Kyle Sieg will line up in row 17. Row 18, Patrick Emerly and Garrett Smithley. Smithley, a late sub to drive that 6 car this weekend. And then Bubba Pollard in the 88 for an extra entry for Junior Motorsports this weekend on the inside of row number 19 with Joey Gase to his outside. Pollard was fastest in practice earlier this morning, but had a big slip up on his qualifying lap, which resulted him to start deep in the field in 37. So 38 cars will be scheduled to run for today's 250-lap race, again, around the Richmond Raceway. You can vote for who you think is going to win the race in the poll that is open in the chat. Open it up just before the start of this stream. 12 votes have been casted so far. Justin Allgaier leading the poll very early on, but obviously things are shaking in the very early going of that. I spelled series with a capital S and an E. Never mind that. It was a quick typo. That's second week in a row I made a typo with the poll that is open. Again, for you guys to vote for who you think is going to win. But you can vote between Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier, Cole Custer, and other. My pick today is going to be Justin Allgaier to win this race. So we'll see if that is going to stay true. Allgaier, again, has won 2 races here. His finishes haven't been very consistent at Richmond, but when he's been fast, he's been fast. And he was leading laps at a very similarly styled racetrack at Phoenix late earlier this season. It probably would have won the race, obviously, if he didn't have that issue with, of course, having the flat left rear tires. He was going off into turn 1 with just 5 laps to go in that one. I think he's going to get it back today. I think he's going to go to victory lane for the first time this year. Junior Motorsports overall still looking for their first win of the season. Junior Motorsports has won 3 of the last 6 races here at this racetrack. Obviously, Allgaier winning a couple of them. So, yeah, I've got Junior Motorsports getting the win here today, and I have it being the 7 of Justin Allgaier. I came close to picking Chandler Smith. Not only he won that race at Phoenix, but overall, I think he's been the best driver of the Xfinity Series regulars this season from a consistency basis outside of Austin Hill. And Hill didn't look very fast in practice and qualifying today. So between that, the Toyotas look quick again this weekend. They've looked very fast on the Xfinity schedule. By laps led category, they're definitely outperforming even Austin Hill, who does have a couple wins this year and has a bunch of top 5s this season. Hill isn't leading as many laps as what we've seen from some of those Toyota guys. So, yeah, I do have Justin Allgaier winning, but my other pick would have been Chandler Smith. But I'm still locking in Allgaier, going with my gut here. I've only predicted one winner right in the Xfinity Series this season, and I predicted the winner right in the Cup and the Truck Series 3 times, so I'm lacking a little bit behind on the Cup Series predictions. The Xfinity Series, predictions. Sorry, my broadcast's like all over the place. I'm more focused on the pain in my lip right now from biting it when I was eating. I mentioned this in the broadcast of the practice qualifying stream when I just started, but I kid you not, I bit my lip when I was eating. What was I eating the other day? I think it was like Buffalo Wild Wings or something. I was eating on, man, what day was this? Wednesday? And I ended up biting my lip. And it didn't really start swelling up until like yesterday. And I didn't have a live commentary stream yesterday because the Truck Series was off. I was like, okay, maybe it'll be better when I wake up, tomorrow morning, whatever. No, that was not the case. I've been in a lot of pain when I talk. So I apologize if I have any sort of speech impediments throughout the course of today's action. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be much better for me. But yeah, it is a struggle to say the least. Man, you just go to like trying to. It's on the inside of my lips, so you guys aren't gonna see like any swelling or anything. But yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, you go. There's many things that are great with life, and then stupid things like biting your lip while you're eating dinner one night could just completely derail the rest of the weekend as far as it comes to trying to communicate with others, including you guys, of course, here today. So yeah, apologize for, again, any sort of like speech slip-ups or like pauses in speech as I try to get through the day. Michael Turner, Terry Lewis, Rod Brown, Chris Davis, JoJo, Matt Hunter, thanks for tuning in. Dan Bowers, thanks for tuning in as well. Yep, happy Easter to everybody. White Gamer TV, thanks for tuning in. All right, you guys were the first in the chat. I had the broadcast up, and then it was lagging a little bit on my phone, so I had to turn it off real quick and then try to get it back up and running again. So currently doing that right now. They're on a full screen commercial break for the moment on FS1. Cars will be on the racetrack here shortly, dropping the green flag within a few minutes from now. 16 likes on the stream. Our goal is to get to 100 likes, so be sure to hit that like button if you guys have not done so yet. And subscribe also if you have not done so yet. 68 subs shy of 5,000 coming into the weekend. Let's see if we can get there by the end of tomorrow, Easter Sunday night. That might hurt our ratings this week with it being a holiday. I hope it doesn't, but it might. So we might not get to that goal of 5,000 this weekend. I really hope so. But I mean, we were so shy of it at the end of last year, and I really would have thought I could have gotten there by this point in the season, but we'll get there sooner rather than later. And I appreciate all the support, of course, that you guys have given me throughout the channel to lead me to this point, and love giving you guys commentary of these races every NASCAR race weekend. Throughout the season, we'll have more streams to come as we get into the year. We'll bring the video game streams back, and I know a lot of you guys have been very, very patient. I appreciate that on the forefront of not doing the video game streams right now, but I will get back into doing that. We'll get daily streaming before we know it once again on the channel. As far as today's race goes, some of the underdogs, I guess, starting up towards the front of the field, trying to get their first career Xfinity win. Corey Heim was pretty fast practice qualifying. No Truck Series race this weekend. Again, he's in the 26 for Sam Hunt Racing. The equipment maybe not there compared to some of the JGR Toyotas, and we kind of see that a lot with these Xfinity cars where those Sam Hunt cars will qualify well, but in the race they don't. They run well. They're like back half the top 10, but they're not up there competing for wins like the JGR boys are. Here this weekend, we'll see Corey Heim could do that, though. Again, he rolls off 6. Jesse Love still looking for his first win. Has had a great rookie season thus far. A couple poles, led a lot of laps. Probably should have gotten it at Atlanta, but ran out of gas before that final overtime restart while leading. Led all but, like a dozen laps that day, if not less than that. Hasn't led that many laps since, but has still had good, consistent runs, and I think he's coming off a top 10 last week at COTA as well. Parker Retzlaff on the pole, mentioned his first career pole here today. His first career start came at Richmond just 2 years ago this weekend, so, well, not this weekend because it's Easter, but 2 years ago in the spring race at Richmond. So coming full circle to get the pole. He was fast in practice, definitely picked up quite a bit in the speed charts at qualifying. I don't think he's going to necessarily contend for the win today, but I think he has a good performance, and maybe under the right circumstances he can get a win. Brandon Jones, I consider him an underdog just because he did miss the playoffs last year. His tenure at Junior Motorsports has been abysmal to say the least, but did qualify well, second. Hasn't really had great starting positions. It seems like a lot of the races he starts at the back and he slowly works his way forward, kind of gets a top 10 here and there. Today, he's got a shot to go out there, try to get some stage points, and he has been running more consistently early this season than what he did all of last year, so looking to build on that with another solid run here today. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, along with Adam Alexander, are in the Fox Sports 1 booth today. Currently talking with Chandler Smith. I don't want to kind of butt in the middle of that, so I apologize for not getting that to you sooner. As soon as that interview is done, though, I'll take it to the broadcast, and then when we go green, I will take back control of the live commentating portion of the stream. 41% of you say that Justin Allgaier is going to win. 42% now. Out of 19 votes, a lot of votes can be cast. Again, we'll close that poll at the end of stage 2, so it'll be open for quite some time yet. Uh, 21 likes on the stream. That'll continue to grow. Again, our goal is 100. Got the cars stopped on track right now. I think they just checked pit road times, so they're just kind of holding everybody to let the back of the field catch up. If I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, I have no clue why they're stopped on the front stretch. They're rolling again. Still see the rest of the starting grid on screen.
Very strong at. Expect him to be good on the long haul here.
I'm looking at next row 4. Look at these guys. We got Jesse Love. Hey, Virginia's for lovers. Maybe it's for Jesse Love. We're going to find out here in a little bit. AJ Allmendinger, always a threat here in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
Allmendinger won for a short track win. Came a few years ago at Bristol, row 5.
Excuse me.
Off the top 5
oh, man.
COTA, alongside Eric Almirola, who made his career debut right here in an Xfinity car, 2006, driving for Joe Gibbs Racing. We'll continue to look at that starting grid in the pylon in a moment. But first, to remind you of some of the new faces you'll see racing today, making their debut. Taylor Gray driving the 19 for JGR, qualified 27th. He's a regular in the Truck Series. Logan Bearden is here, rolls 32nd. And 37th today for Bubba Pollard, the late model legend. Was quick in practice, didn't get it done in qualifying. It'll be fun to watch him drive through the field. Now we hear from our pit reporters, and we start things off with Regan Smith. Hello, Regan.
Well, good afternoon, Adam. You mentioned Bubba Pollard. What an opportunity it is for him at 37 years old to make his Xfinity Series debut in a very strong race car, the 88 for Junior Motorsports. He told me earlier, just before he got in the car, qualified didn't go like he wanted, no, but in practice he was able to figure out exactly what he needed to with the car to be able to correlate how the tires would fall off, so he knew what to expect as this race plays out. Keep an eye on him. This is a cool situation for him to be out there today. Josh?
Well, Shane Van Gisbergen got his first taste of NASCAR, beating and banging last week in Austin as he and Austin Hill traded paint in the final laps of that race. Well, afterward, a little frustration from the drivers. They had a chance to talk this week in the sim, and they feel like they're good. They're ready to move past that. So let's do that in terms of the race here today. SVG told me this is the first time he's had tires fall off as much as they did during that practice session. So keep an eye on how the 97 is able to manage that out here today.
Thank you, Josh. And when the checkered flag went in the air, Van Gisbergen was second last week, but you saw the penalty there, drops him back to 27th, which was big. because if you factor those points in that he lost, he would be above the cut line after 5 races. Unfortunately, now some work to do as we move forward. And with that, we've seen a lot of different styles of tracks. So let's look at a few of the highlights from our standings as we look forward to race 6. Austin Hill leading the way. We said that earlier. Chandler Smith has been solid. Our reigning champ, Cole Custer, third, despite looking for his first win. Jesse Love, the rookie, has been great. Parker Kligerman, a nice surprise. And Anthony Alfredo has been consistent. He's above the cut line. There's SVG in 14th. And Sam Mayer got his first top 10 last week, much needed after recording a DNF in 3 of the first 4 races this year. When we look at the standings, guys highlighted in yellow up there locked in with their victories. Plus 43 for Love. He continues to manage the early portion of his career quite well. And Riley Herbst, even though they've had some hiccups on track, been involved in accidents, they've done a really nice job of getting stage points that minimizes the damage, and that's why they come into today 42 above that cut line. Our race analysis, 250 laps. Nearly 200 miles here. Stage 1, Stage 2, both 75 laps. That final stage, 100. The fuel window, insignificant. The big thing today, how do you manage those tires? These teams have 3 sets laying in the pits. Let's get some pep talk pre-race from Corey Himes' team.
I appreciate you guys. Like, really our best opportunity is between this team. So appreciate all you guys for your hard work and make sure we make a good package. I need to tune on it a little bit, but I'm confident we got a fast car today, so appreciate you all.
Corey driving the 26 for Sam Hunt Racing. That's a team that's enjoyed a lot of success right here at Richmond.
He's had a strong car, a lot of racetracks, but short tracks, as he said right there, this is his best opportunity. The short tracks, especially at a track like this, it seems to kind of wash out some of the disadvantages of that a smaller team may have, right? Whether it's engine or aerodynamics. Here at Richmond, yeah, it matters, but not as much as other racetracks.
Corey, one of those drivers has been outstanding racing in the Craftsman Truck Series. Won last week at Circuit of the Americas, was the regular season champion a season ago, and of course made the championship 4, and be fun to watch him. Trucks make their return this coming Friday at Martinsville. Pacing the field today, the Toyota GR Supra.
Pace car got an extra lap today. We're supposed to run one less pace lap. We had an issue on pit road where the 8 car would start, which was part of the delay. They got him back going. It looks like he's in a good position now. 8 car, Sammy Smith.
Justin Allgaier, 2-time winner here, starts 5th today.
Proud of the effort, proud of the car we brought here. I'm looking forward to this place, man. The way this year's going, it's not been for lack of effort. We all know that, and today's a good day to turn that around.
Heartbreak at Phoenix, but we know Allgaier is awesome at this style of racing. We'll see if today nets him victory number 1.
Well, here we go. First time in his career, it'll be Parker Retzlaff leading the field to the green as we are underway at Richmond and racing in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Brandon Jones spinning his tires on the outside of row 1 off the start really held back the 81 of Chandler Smith before he was able to drop to the yellow line on the bottom into turns 1 and 2. Cole Custer trying to battle for the race lead with Retzlaff up off of turn 2 on lap 1. Still side by side for the race lead between the 00 and the 31. Custer on the bottom. Parker Retzlaff on the top. Retzlaff keeping a very tight line to Cole Custer, not giving him a lot of room to get the power down off turn 4. And Retzlaff, the pole sitter, will be the leader at the end of the first lap of the race. Still has not cleared the 00. We'll see if he can do it this time off turn 2. Has a nice little run down the back. Custer is going to drop in line behind him, and Retzlaff is finally clear for the race lead. Jockeying for position still going on just outside the top 10. Battle side by side between SVG and Jeremy Clements. And now it looks like Allgaier trying to quickly go for second place. Got 2 positions on the opening lap from 5th to 3rd, and now going for second underneath Custer. Through turns 1 and 2. Got alongside of him, stays alongside down the backstretch. Headed into turns 3 and 4. Custer has moved up about a half a lane to a full lane, just enough for the 7 to get his nose underneath the 00, but still cannot complete the pass. Passing very difficult at this racetrack, very low grip, and as we get deeper and deeper into the run, you'll see movement throughout the field as drivers may not necessarily manage their tires as well as others. Going to be a lot of tire fall off in both of the series so far this weekend. And I'd say more so in this Xfinity race than what we will see in the Cup race tomorrow. Cup Series using the same tires they used at Phoenix earlier this season. Not what they had at Bristol a couple weeks ago, but this Xfinity Series, slightly lower downforce, slicker racetrack for them to be able to try to navigate through here today compared to what we would see probably with the Cup Series tomorrow, though they will still have a lack of grip also. Maybe just not quite as much. Retzlaff still holding on for right now. That last lap, though, Justin Allgaier was about 2/10 quicker than our race leader. So Justin moving closer to the back bumper of that 31 and may put a fight on for the lead here before long. Lap 6 currently. Eric Almirola, former Cup Series regular, going part-time Xfinity Series driving this year. First time he's been in the 20 car this season. He's been in the 19 for Joe Gibbs Racing the first 3 starts he has had, but this 4th one, again, he is in the 20. John Nemechek's had many starts in that car so far this year. Nemechek not running this weekend. Only a limited amount of races he's able to run. He's in his first 3 years full-time in the Cup Series. Second full-time technically this season, so he is able to run 7 races. Anybody that has ran in the Cup Series for longer than 3 seasons, then they would only be limited to 5 races. So no Cup regulars in the field here this weekend at Richmond. Jesse Love side by side with AJ Allmendinger for 8th place. Jesse Love wins that battle, remains in 8th right where he started. Sammy Smith's moved up a couple spots and a little bumper tag. The 16 of Allmendinger gets into the left rear of Jesse Love. It just looked like the 16 overdrove the corner getting into turn 3, clipped the left rear of Love. Great job by both cars hanging on. Stalled the pack of drivers out battling for position just behind them as they try to regain their momentum. Yep, just drove it in a little too deep. Didn't get down onto that yellow line very well, and Love remains in front of Allmendinger. You can really see AJ struggling with rear tire grip. Up off the exit of turn 4, the rear of his car moving around, dancing quite a bit. This very bumpy and very, again, abrasive racetrack. I mentioned in the practice and qualifying stream for the Cup Series earlier that this track has not been repaved since the year 2000. So this is going to be 25 years now of racing on this actual surface. So very, very old. Oldest that we have in the Cup Series to this day. And as far as asphalt goes, Dover a couple years before that. But that is a concrete surface. But yeah, as far as the asphalt surfaces go, though, this is the oldest of what we currently have. Showing a battle mid-pack right around Austin Hill. Jeb Burton side by side. It looked like the 43 right in front of him of Ryan Ellis might have just lightly scraped the outside wall off turn 2 with his right rear corner panel. It was very close. Almost too close to tell. Allgaier, even though he was quicker than Retzlaff just a couple laps ago, still has not taken the race lead away. 3 wide for position between Clements, Sieg, and Kligerman. Kligerman was in the middle of it. 3 to 4 car battle for 11th. Riley Herbst just behind him. Sam Mayer also trying to get into that picture. Mayer to the inside of Kligerman. Clements able to make the pass, and Parker's dropping back like a rock here early. Qualified inside the top 10. He's already lost more than 5 positions from the start of the race. As Mayer and Herbst look to take it to Parker. One Parker falling back, the other Parker still remains forward. That is Parker Retzlaff. And that lap time, the last lap, though, Parker Retzlaff, I should say, a little bit slower than Allgaier again. So 2 laps ago, he was faster than Allgaier and kind of started to slowly pull back away. Went down to a 2/10 of a second lead there at about lap 6. Lap 14 we're at right now, it's a 4/10 of a second lead, but it was as much as about 6 to 7/10 there just a lap or 2 ago. So Allgaier looking to pick back up again. It seems like maybe when he got into the dirty air behind the 31, got closer to the back bumper, maybe that affected him. Could have been. He could have tried to make a pass for the lead, failed, and slipped back as a result of that. But definitely not finding much consistency in lap times between the 31 and the 7. Tough to get into a rhythm around this racetrack when you're slipping and sliding, maybe in a different way one lap compared to what you could be the next. Almirola gaining a couple positions from the start up to 7th place. 3.1 seconds off the lead for him. Your top 10 right now on lap 15. Again, Parker Retzlaff leads still. Justin Allgaier 2nd. Cole Custer 3rd. Chandler Smith in 4th. Brandon Jones is 5th. Corey Hyman 6th. Eric Almirola 7th. Jesse Love 8th. Sammy Smith 9th, and AJ Allmendinger is 10th. Again, that is the top 10. 250 lap race, again, around this 3/4 mile short track, Richmond, Virginia. No caution so far in the early going of this race. First stage pretty short. Don't have to worry about pitting. Don't have to worry about pitting at all in stage 1 or stage 2 under green flag conditions, even with the tire wear that we have at this racetrack. So you really got to stretch these runs out as long as you can, knowing you're going to be on tires for quite some time. Another 10th quicker for Allgaier than Retzlaff. That last lap cuts it down to 0.3 of a second off the race lead. Cole Custer is a little bit over a second off the top 2, but maybe if Allgaier and Retzlaff get to battling for a lap or 2, Custer could be there. And Chandler Smith, who was stalled out behind Brandon Jones, who spun his tires off the initial start, still remains in his starting spot in 4th. And Jones ended up falling from 2nd to 5th here in the early laps. Corey Heim, who started 6th, still in 6th. And then a lot more changing of position in the back half of the top 10 to just outside the top 10. A lot of the drivers who qualified just outside the top 10 have moved their way in and vice versa. Like Shane Van Gisbergen's dropped back 5 spots from 12th to 17th. Jesse Love still remains in 8th. Allmendinger's fallen back a few spots. Ryan Sieg, Jeremy Clements up a couple. We're under caution for the first time today, lap 20. And it is the 32 of Ryan Vargas on the front stretch who has parked.
Vargas with an issue, driving the 32.
Something is burning up.
I would say, I'm not a smart man, Joe, but I'd say something broke on that thing.
It sounds like the wisdom of a driver that's won here 4 times.
Yes. I think we have a replay here. Maybe we'll see what happened.
You see him go in the corner. That thing does not turn. Oh, and you see a fire in the left front. Yeah, I think maybe the brakes gave out there. Possibly.
Thankfully, he avoided any contact with the wall, but it looks like that thing has the ability to keep moving.
Ryan's going to do some racing over in Europe, and this weekend driving that 32. Partnership between Jordan Anderson and Mike Harmon.
Lots of smoke in that car. Something's definitely on fire. Hard to tell what it was.
Retzlaff has led all 21 laps so far today. Handled the initial start pretty well. Was able to pull the top spot away from the competition, and once he got out there, he's doing the deal.
Yeah, right before we went to break, we saw there was a plate on the nose of his car, so I think he very much welcomed this yellow because it appears to have cleared that plate off. And folks at home, this is why we don't litter. We don't want to ruin somebody's day on the racetrack here.
That's the one downfall of leading races. You're the first to get to the debris and pick it up, right? Vargas out of the car. Caution 22 laps in at Richmond.
All right, it's under caution for the first time today. It looks like a fire from out underneath the 32 of Justin Vargas' race car, so he'll be the first to retire from this one. Here, nobody went a lap down over the course of that short green flag run of about 20 laps before the caution had come out. Parker Retzlaff has led every lap from the pole thus far. We'll wait to see if we get any pit stops here during stage 1. I'm not sure on the amount of sets of tires that these teams have this weekend. If it is very limited, which it tends to be for the Truck and Xfinity Series, we might not actually see pit stops this early in the race, even though these teams could need fresh tires, considering, again, the amount of fall off. You're going to want to pit every single pit stop. Any caution we get in the Cup race tomorrow, they'll definitely be pitting every time. They will have plenty more sets of tires than what these Xfinity teams have here this weekend. A lot shorter of a race, obviously, for the Xfinity Series, and, of course, a lot of these teams running on more limited cost than the Cup Series teams as well. Robert Goodrich, thanks for tuning into the stream. Joseph C3, welcome back. A couple of quick shout-outs. Jeff Sperry, thanks for tuning in. NASCAR Vintage 17, welcome back. Talking Pierre Gamer, thanks for tuning in. He was here right at the green. Katie Cox, welcome to the stream. And many others. Michael Turner, welcome back. Again, be sure to make sure that you vote in the comment section for who you think is going to win this race. There's a poll open. That poll will not close until the end of stage 2. And as of right now, Justin Allgaier leads that poll at 38%. He's currently running second Cole Custer at 21% of the votes. 29% of you say somebody other than Custer, Allgaier, and Chandler Smith will win, and Chandler Smith last of those 4 voting options at 12% of the votes. So be sure to do that. Also, be sure to hit the like button if you haven't yet. Our goal is 100 likes on the stream. We are at 35 in the early going to this race. So 35 likes so far. Be sure, again, to hit that like button. And also subscribe for more NASCAR content. 68 subscribers shy of the 5,000 mark for the channel. So appreciate it. All nearly 5,000 of you that tune in on a weekend basis or are subscribed to the channel. But we'll have plenty of NASCAR coverage coming for you the rest of the season. This is only the 7th Cup race of the weekend coming up out of 36. We still got another exhibition race with the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway next month as well. Technically 2 months away, I guess. Yeah, we're not quite into April yet. Give it a couple more days, but yeah, we are cooking through this season already. Hard to believe we've had NASCAR for over a month and a half already. Consecutively, nonetheless. Still waiting for them to come back from this commercial break and see if we get any sort of pit stops under caution. I'd imagine that we're probably not, because I feel like they would have cut back from the commercial break at this point if that wasn't the case. Unless pit road's still closed, I guess. Not sure if there's any fluid that was on the racetrack from the 32 that had stopped on the front stretch. Had his issue getting into turn 3 and ended up parking with a small fire underneath the left front of that race car. Vargas did get out of the car under his own power, so that's good to see, of course.
In Richmond for the NASCAR Xfinity Series with Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, I'm Adam Alexander. Parker Retzlaff started on pole. He's led them all. And we talk about the significance of tire fall off here. You get a caution. Conventional wisdom says come down pit road, get some fresh tires. Not an option right now for these teams, for most of them anyway.
They want to, but you can't because there's not enough tires. There's only 3 sets of tires laying, and when you think about the 2 stages and then the last stage, you're going to want to have a set there. Look at the tire fall off. This is from lap 2 to lap 18. The ghost car in the front, that's the beginning of the run. Look at the distance as they come around to turn 4. They're going to, that's a lot of distance. You're talking 8 to 10 car lengths by the time you get to the start finish line. But you can't afford to use your set of tires now, not have something to win the race with at the end of the day. So these restarts are going to be nuts. Regan?
Well, Joe, you guys saw the debris that was on Parker Retzlaff's car in the 31 there. Good opportunity that the yellow came out. They had just told him to keep an eye on the temperatures as they were climbing. No word from the driver that they were too high, though. They were okay in the car when the caution came out. And think about this. He told me earlier today, as good as he was in qualifying, he felt like his car was actually better on the long runs in the race. He showed that early on so far.
Yeah, he definitely did. And we talked about how good of a job he was doing, just straightening out his exit and managing his tires and all that. But I tell you what, this restart is about to be a pedal fest, as I call it, off of turn 4 to take the green flag. Oh, good luck hooking these bad boys up.
Yeah, so you're going to struggle to find launch in the Geico restart zone. And then you're going to get down to turn 1 and 2, and this thing's not going to want to turn at all. And that's what makes this such a challenge for all of these drivers. The further back you are, it's almost an even bigger challenge. And I can't wait to see what happens here, guys.
Yeah, look for cars to be washing up in the turn 1 here.
A lot of experience.
All right, still got quite a few laps yet to go in stage 1, about 48 of them. Green flag back in the air. Allgaier did not get a great launch on the outside of row 1, and Cole Custer from the inside of row 2 does. Gets to the inside of the 31 of Retzlaff for the lead. Retzlaff washes up the racetrack. Allgaier nearly to the outside. 3 wide for the lead off turn 2. Contact between the 00 and the 31. Allgaier to the outside of the 31 getting into turn 3. Custer had to lift after the contact. He settles in line behind Retzlaff on the inside lane. And for the first time today, it'll be Justin Allgaier leading at Richmond as he's clear for that race lead off of the 31 car on the exit of turn 4. Retzlaff settles in second, side by side behind him for third between the 26 and the 00. Retzlaff struggles to get off turn 2 once again as he's back in traffic for the first time today. And Corey Heim in the 26, who started in the 6th place position, has now worked his way up to second. He gets by Custer and Retzlaff on the restart. And it'll be the truck regular now up to 2nd place. Eric Almirola is slowly moving forward, battling inside the top 5. as he's side by side for fourth with Cole Custer now. Yeah, that contact between Custer and Retzlaff definitely cost him the lead. That allowed for Allgaier to have a pretty good run on the outside of the 31 after he washed up the track in the middle of the corner. And that's even despite the fact that Allgaier kind of spun his tires on the restart more so than the 31. But Custer driving it in deep, getting into the corner, put him tight off the exit. Either driver could hang on. And Retzlaff continues to go backwards. He got passed by Himes shortly after that. Cole Custer gets around him for third, and Parker's now back to fourth place and still dropping with the 9 and the 20 right behind him. And still a battle for fifth going on here with Almirola side by side with Brandon Jones. Chandler Smith lost a few spots off the restart, going from fourth to seventh. So he's back in traffic a bit more. Near contact between the 9 and the 20 as they slip and slide off the exit of turn 2. Almirola goes way up the racetrack, driving it in very deep, taking the line away the 9 of Jones, forcing him to lift, and that was the way that Almirola was going to win that battle for position. And now it's Chandler Smith's turn to try to make the pass. Almirola driving it in deep again as he gets to the inside of Retzlaff. Came up off the bottom groove, never made contact with Parker, but still makes the pass. Retzlaff drops in line right behind him. Almirola to a race-high fourth place position on lap 33.
In the 20, that thing looks hooked up pretty well, and I am not surprised. This is Eric Almirola's maybe one of two of his best racetracks. Richmond and Loudon just says Eric Almirola all over it all the time, especially on the long haul, and you're starting to see that show up in the Xfinity Series right now.
If you go back to practice earlier today, 30-lap average. Eric Almirola, the best of the bunch. That's what you want. Be good on the long haul here. We've talked about it. He's a veteran. He understands how to take care of his equipment. We mentioned earlier the fact that he began his career with Joe Gibbs Racing right here at Richmond, 2006. Running a part-time schedule, and so far, so good.
Yeah, Cole Custer seen him making a little bit of time up there in the second lane. He moved up there to see if he could find a little bit of speed, playing a little defense on Eric. Here we see Parker still, struggling on this refire, and these cars are just moving up and trying to get air to roll his outside.
Yeah, for some reason, the second lane here over the last, since the restart has looked really good, Joey. These Xfinity cars seem to really like it up there.
Yeah, Eric's being patient. You can see he's doing a good job of getting to the bottom, packing air on Cole Custer. He's probably going to turn underneath him here. Yep.
These are old teammates. Eric was driving at Stewart Haas, so they've shared plenty of time together. 20 inside of the 0-0. Move Almirola up to third in the running order.
I like what I saw out of Eric's car right there. He was able to get into turn 3 pretty hard in the bottom lane, didn't get loose, and then had a nice, great exit off the bottom of turn 4. That's usually a sign of a car that's got great speed and a driver that's very disciplined.
Yeah, I think he's solid right now. Look for him to drive to the front.
This is the race for 11th on back. Mayer is there. Allmendinger, Austin Hill. Justin Allgaier leading this race. He's led 11 laps today. Over 500 in his career at Richmond. We're halfway through the opening stage.
0.3 of a second lead for Justin Allgaier over Corey Hyman second. Eric Almirola 1.6 seconds off the lead up to third. Cole Custer 2.2 seconds back at fourth, and Parker Retzlaff still settles in fifth, 2.9 seconds off the lead. 3 seconds back is sixth place runner Chandler Smith. Brandon Jones in seventh, 3.3 seconds back. 3.9 seconds back is Ryan Sieg in eighth. Sammy Smith is 4.1 seconds off the lead in ninth. And Riley Herbst is 4.5 seconds off the lead in 10th. That is your top 10 in the running order through lap 39 of 250 in the ToyotaCare 250 at the Richmond Raceway on KRC. You're listening live. We'll take our first ad break of the race. Be sure to, again, like, subscribe, and keep commenting in the chat. I'll check on that during commercial breaks and cautions when I can, as we continue our live commentary coverage of this NASCAR Xfinity Series flag-to-flag coverage. 40 likes on the stream so far. Again, goal of 100. We're getting there quickly, but this race is going to go by very quickly, so definitely be sure to hit that. We did hit our goal of 50 likes right at the end of our live commentary stream for the practice and qualifying efforts. Again, we started streaming earlier this morning at 10:30 a.m. local time for me, so almost 4 hours into our coverage today. Last weekend we had a triple header. We've had a few of those already this year on Saturdays, but no triple header today. Again, the Truck Series is off, and Cup Series will be on tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern Time. We will go live for that NASCAR Cup Series event, the Toyota Owners 400 at Richmond. Again, tomorrow night, 6:30 Easter Sunday night, right here on the channel. We'll be watching some Cup action. Corey Heim putting a lot of pressure on Justin Allgaier for that race lead under the commercial break right now. Can't wait for them to come back. We get to see that action. A lot of tire fall off per expected. Over 4 seconds of a difference between the fastest laps in the race for these drivers at the front of the field and their most recent lap. That last lap, Eric Almirola ran a 29.457. That is over 5 seconds slower than his fastest lap of a 24.206. He raced hard to get up to third, obviously. He restarted in, I think, 8th place. So he might have chewed through those tires quite a bit here early in this run as he tries to catch the tail end of the pack. 75 laps again in this first stage, and it does look like we are under caution again for the second time today. And again, under this commercial, Brandon Jones going for a spin.
Out at Richmond, Brandon Jones had a good start to the day, running inside the top 10. Let's go back and see what happened. Contact with a couple of drivers involved, actually.
It's a little nudge here off of turn 4 from Park Retzlaff.
You see him down into turn 1.
Oh, it looks like something broke. Maybe.
Man, gosh.
There's something coming out. Yeah, there's something coming out underneath that car. And the car's behind him, Rex, so that would make sense why that might have happened. Oh, yeah, we can see a lot of fluid on the track now. Yeah, it looks like something breaks in the left front.
Came off or something. Doesn't it look like it?
Yes, that's not smoke. That's fluid coming out from underneath the left front wheel of this car.
Mentioned a couple of drivers involved, and we'll see who else slides into the picture.
Oh, you see the cars behind him spinning into oil?
39 is Ryan Sieg. He was the one that we saw spinning. Jones is out of the car. Boy, he had such a good start to the year last couple of weeks, some bobbles that will hurt them, no doubt. And prior to that, we had a great battle for the lead as Allgaier's trying to hold off Corey Heim, and the 26 is really good early.
Yeah, Corey Heim did a textbook job getting a run up there in the second lane, crossing over Allgaier. Boom, clears him into 1. Justin doesn't really fight that too much. He was a long ways to go, but great pass by Corey Heim right there.
That's how it's done. Nice job, Corey. It's a great pass. Clean, too.
Did get a report. It was a motor issue on the 9 of Brandon Jones. Let's listen to their radio.
I think it's the motor's locked up. Bad vibration, it's blowing smoke everywhere. I can bring it to you, but it's definitely the motion. Now there's fire blowing out of it.
Yeah, you don't usually see a lot of engine failures here at Richmond. It's interesting. These short tracks generally are actually a little easier on the engine. You might run them some high RPM, but the loading, especially at Richmond, is a lot less than most tracks. But what you do see quite often is with the NASCAR seal rule, where you have to use engines over and over again. A lot of teams will use engines that have a lot of miles on them, a lot of laps on them at Richmond. So they'll reuse an engine here. And hate to speculate on what happened, but just not normal to see engine issues at Richmond, Jimmy.
No.
Cut break for Brandon Jones. Second caution of the day. 29 to go, stage 1. Engine problem for Brandon Jones, and Ryan Sieg caught up as well.
Wow. What get the engine fired back up again? There's a big fire from out underneath the race car for the 9. So a couple mechanical failures causing the first 2 yellows of the day. First, Ryan Vargas right around lap 20. And then lap 19 to be exact with the Vargas incident. Lap 42 for Brandon Jones. And again, a spin on a lockup behind him by the 39 of Ryan Sieg, who was also in the top 10 at the time. I think Brandon Jones was running 5th at the time of his spin. After just passing Parker Retzlaff for that position. definitely a tough break for him. And then obviously for Ryan Sieg, who again was off to a strong start today, looked pretty good practice and qualifying, and running top 10 here in the early laps. Stinks to have an early exit like that too when you're in the top 10 because you don't even get any stage points with not even getting to the end of stage 1 either to try to salvage at least the good start. So definitely tough for those guys taking big points hits today. Corey Heim took the race lead away from Justin Allgaier just prior to that caution coming out. So we got Heim up at the front of the field. He was the Truck Series race winner on their last race at COTA last week, and with the trucks off this weekend, he's trying to steal an Xfinity race win away. We have had 4 different winners in the first 5 races for the Xfinity Series this season. Austin Hill, the only one to win more than one, and we did have a Cup regular win in 2 of the races this season so far. John Hunter Nemechek and Kyle Larson each have a win. The only Xfinity regular other than Austin Hill to get a win was Chandler Smith at Phoenix, so he's locked into the playoffs. 12 spots are available for the Xfinity Series playoff field. And after today's race, we'll still have 20 races to go in the regular season. Hill, the only driver to finish top 5 in all 5 races so far this season. A strong start. That gives him a 9-point lead over Chandler Smith in the standings. Chandler Smith also has 5 top 10 finishes with 4 top 5, so he's been very consistent this year. 2 more stage wins than Austin Hill, and it's pretty much just those 2 and then the rest of the field behind him. Cole Custer's kind of lingering around. He's not completely out of it. Obviously, still early in the year. He's 30 points out of first. Jesse Love, the rookie, having a great start to the year, is 4th in the standings, 56 out of first. Riley Herbst, 5th in the standings. He's 57 out of first. He was pretty strong early in the year last year and then kind of faded in the second half of the regular season last year. Parker Kligerman, 7th in points through the first 5 races. Some strong runs on the super speedways. And even the first couple races after that, had a top 10 last week at COTA. Justin Allgaier, 8th in the point standings, is actually the highest of the junior motorsports Chevys. They've been struggling as a whole so far this season, but he is still on the inside. He has led 70 laps. Over 50 of them came at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago. Just 2 top 10s to show, but looking like a contender for the race win here today, at least early. Sheldon Creed dropped 4 points in the standings after COTA last week. Pretty bad week, but he does have 3 top 5s and 3 top 10s, so no consistency there necessarily. It's either really good or really bad finish for Creed. Didn't look great in practice and qualifying so far this weekend, but still hovering inside the cutoff line. And Anthony Alfredo still sitting 12th in the point standings after 5 races with his team. What a great run they've had so far this year. 2 top 10 finishes. Let's see if they can hold on. Ryan Sieg, who was just behind him in points, really tied for that final playoff spot. Obviously, just got in an incident here today, so that's going to help Alfredo out. And Shane Van Gisbergen just on the outside looking in as well as Parker Retzlaff. Retzlaff started on the pole. He's got a couple top 5 finishes, but is fading back early, trying to stay in the top 10 here for at least another 20 laps or so he can get some stage points out of it. SVG obviously lost some points at the end of the race last week. Probably would have been in the top 12 coming into this one, but obviously having finished 27th instead of 2nd, where he crossed the line at the end of the COTA race due to a last lap penalty and him cutting the S's. So that ended up costing him about 26 points in the standings, and he currently only sits 15 out of 12. So that would have moved him up right around Sheldon Creed in 10th, actually. But we'll see how SVG does. There's a lot of road courses left to go this year, so he's got plenty more chances to win. Notable drivers who are in an early struggle this season. You look at Sam Mayer, 19th in points. He did gain 5 positions after last week's top 10 at COTA. That was his first top 10 of the season. 3 DNFs in the first 4 races for Mayer. So good to have a good run last week, even with the damage to his race car off of a restart that they had earlier in the day.
Laps on your tires for another 75-lap stage after that?
I don't know. I mean, we've had a lot of green flag laps, but I would say you could take this set of scuffs maybe and reintroduce them to the equation later as Lane Perkins has come to a stop in the 29.
What happened there? He's going to put a push track to him.
Like, I can hear it try to crank, but there's just no fire.
Kind of odd. Happen under caution. So I mean, I think if you do pit here, you got yourself in a good position to try to go up there and win the stage possibly and get some stage points. It's just
you throw away any shot at the race.
The price is expensive.
We mentioned the new faces in today's race. The headliners, Bubba Pollard, the late model legend, and Taylor Gray, who's a series regular in the Craftsman Truck Series. Didn't have great qualifying runs, but right now 21st, 24th. Let's get to know them just a bit better.
Hi, my name is Taylor Gray. I'm 19 years old. I was born in 2005. I'm from Artesia, New Mexico. Bubba Pollard, 37 years old, 1987, from Sonora, Georgia. Yeah, it was around probably 2015. I was obviously a little guy. Yeah, so I pretty much grew up racing. I've been around it my whole life. Kind of as time went on, got more serious about it and ended up making it into a career. My granddad built a racetrack, dirt track back then, but we've been racing now for almost 30 years. So it's been a big part of our family.
Nothing screams NASCAR like the story of these two drivers making their Xfinity debut. One's 37, one's 19. That's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. And what Dale Jr. has done with Bubba Pollard here, Bubba is an incredible late model racer that is very tough to beat. I remember racing him when I was racing late models years and years ago. To see him get the opportunity here is cool. It's just hard to be able to learn in a short amount of practice that you have in the Xfinity Series. Pit road's open here. See if we have any takers.
Oh, we're going to have a few. Looks like A.J. Allmendinger.
A.J. said he was planning to come. And he will,
Clements,
Jeremy Clements. So some drivers getting out of balance on Strategy. Looks like Shane Van Gisbergen also going to make a stop here. Josh?
Well, Adam, you heard the frustration from A.J. Allmendinger over the radio. A lot of things to battle for him. He said the car is on the splitter. He's lacking overall grip, and he needs more drive off. The team told him to come down and pit. They got to make something happen to help their driver out. They're going to make a bunch of changes, add a packer, add a couple of rounds to the left rear to see if they can help him out, guys.
So no tires on these cars. It's interesting. They're just going to give up the track position to be able to make a few adjustments on them. So they're not going to come ripping through the field like we thought they were, Joey.
No, that's what I thought, man. Putting tires on here with just 20 laps to go or so, I didn't get it. So making an adjustment, I still don't know if I agree with that.
Brennan Poole, Kyle Sieg, other drivers that elect to come down under caution. Brandon Jones had an engine issue. He goes for a ride. Ryan Sieg involved. We'll go green when we come back.
Lengthy caution for the speedy dry they had to put down getting into turn one where the incident took place there with Brandon Jones and Ryan Sieg. And obviously he ended up sliding down the banking, so quite a bit of a lengthy caution, as I probably could have expected that to happen. Still, by the time we restart, I'd probably say we'll have right in the ballpark of give or take 20 laps to go yet in stage one. Corey Heim, again, is your current race leader. Justin Allgaier, second. Eric Almirola, third. Cole Custer, fourth. And Chandler Smith is in fifth for this upcoming restart. Once again, be sure to hit that like button on the stream if you guys haven't yet. 42 likes so far. Our goal is to get to 100 likes by the end. So be sure to, again, hit that like button so we can get to our goal before the end of this race. 49 votes have been casted for who you think will win the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at Richmond. 37% say Justin Allgaier. 35% say somebody other than Allgaier, Custer, Smith. So pretty tight in the poll between those two options. Cole Custer has 18% of the votes so far. Chandler Smith at 10% of the votes. I picked the win was Justin Allgaier. Currently second. He's led some laps here early, but Corey Heim taking the race lead away on this longer tire stint in the early going. I do have my diecast at the ready as well. We've done it a couple times this year, including last week. I said I want to start the weekly tradition of getting the diecast showing at the end of stage 2 again. So did it last week, going to do it again this week. I do have a diecast end of stage 2 we will show, and it is an Xfinity Series diecast. At the time, it was a Busch Series diecast. I don't have any like modern Xfinity Series diecast, but one of my personal favorites, if that spoils it at all. But well, maybe not necessarily by the scheme itself, but the driver, nonetheless. I'll go more into detail when we get there, if you guys didn't already know who it may be. For any longtime viewers of the channel.
Corey Heim, the race leader, leading laps for the first time in his Xfinity Series career. So good when it comes to the Craftsman Truck Series. And last Saturday, getting his first win of 2024, putting himself in the playoffs. It was career victory number 6. You talk about young drivers that have a chance to go all the way to the top. He really checks all the boxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Did a tremendous job last week in that truck race. You know, there is a lot of heat being put on him there by a couple other drivers, and he did a good job managing that race where there's no marks on his truck and ran really well.
And afterwards he said it's Heim time. And right now it's Regan time. Regan Smith on pit road.
Well, Adam, he's having a good time in the car right now as well. A lot of guys complaining about different handling issues. Corey Heim telling his team he's just a little bit tight initial throttle on exit, but does not mind that. And keep an eye also, Sam Hunt Racing, they've got over 400 people, friends, family, and college buddies that are in the stands today. If he can keep that up front all day, what a party it'll be at the end of this race.
That's what I was going to say. If the frat brothers are here, we're going to party all night long if we get the victory lane.
And it's one of the cool things about Sam Hunt Racing. A young owner, right? Jordan Anderson, same thing. You don't typically see that in our sport very often. Pretty cool to see him successful.
Saw Blaine Perkins in the garage after they had stalled under caution.
Guys, I can't wait for this restart. The last restart, Justin Allgaier was running second in outside lane. He took the lead against Parker Retzlaff. Can he do that again here against Corey Heim?
It'll be 19 to go on the stage, and watch Eric Almirola, who's up there as well.
Another really strong launch, Joey. And Cole Custer right back to the bottom again. Not going to be able to get underneath him this time.
He does like that move a lot. And don't forget about Eric Almirola right back there in the outside of the second lane. We know he was really strong comes the end of this run, but Justin Allgaier going to get cleared almost into 3.
Cleared almost.
That's why I'm not a spotter.
That won't work on the spotter stand.
But Corey Heim's fighting back here into turn 1, guys. He's still there.
And Eric's looking for any opportunity to where he can cross and break the plane of either one of them to try to get to second.
I love this view.
There's no saving tires here, guys. There's only 18 laps to go on the stage. You're going to use what you got.
Let it all hang out.
This is where you get the reward for saving your tires so long. You get to race hard right now.
How does the balance change on these tires after a heat cycle as we nearly have some contact for the top spot?
Yeah, you're definitely going to lose that rear grip. And that rear grip can kind of manifest itself 2 ways. It's either lateral control of the car to keep you from spinning out, or longitudinal control of the car to give you that forward bite or drive out of the hole after you got done slowing down for the corner.
Justin Allgaier now leads. That's not surprising. Brad talking longitudinal control was something we didn't expect in the podcast today.
You asked, I answered, double A.
Almirola now to the outside lane, trying to get second away from his Toyota teammate.
Yeah, he was waiting for those 2 cars to get single file so he can make a move. He capitalized as soon as he saw that door open up on the outside of Rolla.
Hey, let's give some love to Riley Herbst, who's come from 14th to the start to the top 5, right behind his teammate.
I'll tell you something I like seeing right there from the in-car camera of Corey Heim. Those 2 cars in front of him going to the corner, the back end sliding. They are drifting these cars down into the corner, trying to maintain control as they're running down each other for the lead. It's pretty fun to watch.
That second lane just keeps winning all the battles right now, Joey. It's looking really strong.
2 good young drivers here, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer. Mayer's had a nice day so far. He didn't qualify great, but he's hanging around and in position to get stage points, which he desperately needs.
Yeah, you bring up, Brad, how that second lane is so strong. I agree when they're too wide. But as soon as they get back single file, it seems like the fastest lane is still back down on the bottom.
Austin Hill has worked his way up to the top 10. And the pole sitter Parker Retzlaff right in front of him. Sammy Smith is there, so is Parker Kligerman.
Still got a great battle for the lead here. Eric Almirola is right there on Justin Allgaier. He's going to try to make the pass on the bound. Not enough drive up off of turn 4 here. But
Almirola definitely looks better at this point in the run as he continues to put the pressure to Justin Allgaier, who lost the lead right before the caution to Corey Heim. Heim loses a spot on the restart, 2 of them actually going from 1st to 3rd. And now it's Almirola in the mix, staying alongside Allgaier for almost a full lap. Just kind of hanging on that left rear quarter panel. It does seem like Justin gets off turn 4 better than the 20 of Almirola. 20 sliding up off the bottom just a little bit. Maybe trying to pressure the 7 to get up out of the gas. And I think he did have to keep it off the wall more than anything there, as it might have been a slight overdrive in that last corner. for Allgaier, and we have a new leader, Eric Almirola, out in front of the field now. So Almirola leads. Justin Allgaier is now second, 0.3 of a second off the lead. Corey Heim, 0.7 of a second back in third. Riley Herbst, 1.5 seconds off the lead in fourth, and Cole Custer in fifth place is 2 seconds off the lead. There's your top 5 with 10 laps to go in stage 1. In the 75-lap first stage, stage 2 will also be 75 laps, and the final stage will be 100 laps today, making up 3 stages. Sam Mayer slowly moving forward, qualifying outside the top 10. He battles with 6th place runner Chandler Smith. Parker Kligerman trying to get back in the top 10. Lost a handful of spots off the start, but it seems like the long run speed may be there for Parker Kligerman. Parker Retzlaff, on the other hand, after qualifying on the pole, has dropped to 14th. And, of course, the outside pole sitter, Brandon Jones, is out of the race after his crash, which brought out the second caution at lap 42. Jones going to end up with a 37th place finish today. Brendan Poole. And he's actually running the fastest laps of anybody on the track right now. I don't think he took tires. I think he's just managed his tires well to this point in the run. 24.471 that last lap, and the race leader was a 25.0 of Eric Almirola. I will say the pace quickened from where we're at right now to where we were at just before the caution came out. So I think that ability to cool the tires down under the caution has definitely helped. Because the lap times have dropped off quite a bit. Or they did drop off quite a bit, but they've picked back up a few seconds, really a lap for a lot of these teams. Poole to 7th. Now to 6th to 5th. He's moving up quickly. Our leaderboard a little bit behind that. Now it's updated as of the start-finish line that last lap. 5th place for Brendan Poole. Look at him go. 44 car for Alpha Prime Racing. Solid day. Corey Heim on the outside of Justin Allgaier, trying to make the pass there. We've seen a lot of side-by-side battles. One on the outside lane. They get the single file. They have to be able to run the bottom. Allgaier just not very quick anymore at this point in the run. He has faded immensely, and Riley Herbst got stuck behind the 7, and that allowed for the 44 Brendan Poole to get by both of them, and Poole is driven all the way up to 3rd. And all over the back bumper of Corey Heim for 2nd place. I don't know what the odds were for Brendan Poole to win this race today, but I mean, the value could have been there. Puts the bumper to the 26 of Heim up off turn 4, and he's going to blow right past him on the front stretch. I don't think he's going to have enough time to run down Almirola. His lap times are quicker than Eric, but he's still a 1.5 off the lead with now just less than 2 laps to get there. I'm also wondering how many more spots Allgaier is going to lose to the end of the stage, as he's in danger of losing another. Obviously, Heim got around him. His teammate Sam Mayer's trying to get underneath him. They make contact after Mayer slides the rear tires. And now a 3 wide off the exit of turn 4 for 4th with Herbst underneath both the JRM Chevys. Final lap of the stage, 1.2 second lead for Almirola over Poole. Still 3 wide in a battle for 4th between Herbst, Mayer, and Allgaier. So they try to funnel off of turn 2. Continue to fight for those stage points here early in the race. Eric Almirola wins stage 1, but the hard charger at the end, Brendan Poole, ends up 2nd. Corey Heim 3rd. Justin Allgaier does hold on to 4th. 5th place for Sam Mayer. Riley Herbst in 5th. Sam Mayer 6th. 7th for Chandler Smith. Cole Custer fell to 8th. Taylor Gray up to 9th. And Sammy Smith rounds out the top 10. So those will be all the drivers receiving stage points in stage 1. Now, again, Almirola obviously not running for Xfinity Series points because he's a part-time driver, just making his 4th start of the season. But the 20 car, remember, is in the owner's standings playoffs with that car winning a race this season. John Hunter Nemechek got the win in the 2nd race of the year at Las Vegas. Rather, the 3rd race of the year at Las Vegas. So that is another playoff point for the 20 team in the owner's standings. I would imagine Almirola is probably going to drive that car for the owner's championship for most of the playoff races, considering that he isn't a Cup regular, because a lot of the Cup regulars who have driven that car obviously won't be able to, because you're limited to the amount of starts you can make. Well, when the playoffs begin, Cup regulars cannot run Xfinity Series races at that juncture of the season either. So we'll see. I know Denny Hamlin usually runs a race as well. He might be in that car in the 19 at some point. Usually runs the Darlington fall race, and that is just before the playoffs for the Xfinity side. Yeah, Brendan Poole up to second. I don't know where he restarted, but it definitely wasn't in the top 10, and he went from 8th to 2nd in a hurry. Fun to watch for sure. Somewhere Eric Estep is cheering him on, his podcast buddy. I'm sure a lot of the people in the chat know who that is. I'd imagine if you watch NASCAR YouTube content and don't know who Eric Estep is, I think I don't even know how you would stumble across this channel and not his. But needless to say, cool to see Brendan Poole having a good run. Guess it's Kenseth what for the diecast showing? Maybe, maybe not. If that's what you're guessing Kenseth for. I don't know what else you'd be guessing Kenseth for. He is definitely not racing today. Unless you're talking about the 20 car running Xfinity Series playoff races. I doubt that. He's working at Legacy Motor Club, I think, right now. Granted, it is Toyota, but not at JGR. That'd be wild if that comes to fruition. Got our first pit stops of the day.
Adam Eric Almirola in the 20 car, very quick that first run of the race. Still not perfect with the car, though. Needs an adjustment, a little bit tight, rolling to center. Wants help with that. The 26 of Corey Heim. He's got a car that's very connected right now, all the way around the corner. He's just too tight overall. Needs a little adjustment. Josh?
For the one of Sam Mayer, he's a little free on entry, a little free on exit, but said keep the adjustments minimal. And then for the 98 of Riley Herbst, happy with the car, frustrated with the way the guys were racing around him. Said give me 4 tires and good track position, guys.
Race off pit road is big. You want to have control of this race. Eric Almirola comes in the leader. He leaves the leader. Justin Allgaier up to second in front of Riley Herbst. +2, +3 there. +3 for Chandler Smith. And Austin Hill, who worked his way to the top 10 into the stage.
Wow, 8 positions gained on a 4-tire stop for Austin Hill. Impressive there. Unfortunately, Brendan Poole loses 5 positions on pit road. Much smaller team, so definitely going to have a slower stop as a result of that.
Fox Booth, you got me?
Trying to interview Poole mid-race.
Joey Logano with the Fox Booth, you got us? That's a hard no, I believe. Well, we were wanting to see what a strategy on what they were thinking and how they're going to play it forward.
I just wanted to hear how much fun he was having. I think maybe he's having so much fun the radio's not working.
I just wonder if he couldn't hear you or just didn't want to talk to you. Problems on pit road for a couple of our front runners. Cole Custer having a hard time getting out of his stall. And Corey Heim with some problems as well. Stage 2 coming up.
All right, so again, Eric Almirola will be the leader on the restart. Just won the race off of pit road. Justin Allgaier will be more than likely in the front row in second. He's gotten to the lead on the outside of row 1 twice, even though I think the fire lane on the restarts is definitely going to be the inside. We'll see what Almirola chooses, though. This is going to be the first time he'll be on the front row for a restart here today. 46 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit the like button again if you guys haven't done so yet. The goal is to get to 100 likes on the stream, so almost halfway to our goal. Less than halfway through the race. Definitely be sure to hit that like button. 2/3 of the viewers can't bring themselves to push the like button. I don't know. It's like that with like a lot of YouTube channels. For whatever reason, a lot of people just don't hit the like button. Helps the streams out a ton, helps the channel out a ton. I highly recommend hitting the like button, not just on this stream, but any other, YouTuber you watch, like across anything, any platform, hit the like button every video. I never really used to myself, for whatever reason, never really thought of doing it. And then when I started the YouTube channel, I see how much like it helps the algorithm side of things. So I make sure I hit the like button every single thing I watch, whether it be like some golf YouTube channels I watch or some other, like I'm a big pro wrestling guy, so any wrestling content stuff I watch, I'm always hitting the like button on all that stuff. So NASCAR obviously too. So other maybe sports avenues, whatever. Needless to say, definitely be sure to do that with not just me, but anybody out there. Helps their channels grow a ton. Ace Elshire, thanks for tuning into the stream. Appreciate you tuning in. 53 likes. There we go. We had a big spike there over the last couple minutes. Appreciate that, everybody. Yeah, let's get to that goal of 100. I wanted to look at the point standings again here real quick. I want to see where Brennan Poole's running. Has he ran every race this season? I don't know if he has or not. I might have skipped him. 16th in points. Yeah, he has ran every race. So he was about on the bubble coming in, so getting those stage points is going to be good for Poole. We'll see how he can contend the rest of the day. Since you brought up Eric Eastup, I have an opening for a panelist. If you're interested in applying for the slot. I don't actually like listen to the to that podcast in particular. So I don't really know like how it goes about necessarily, but I appreciate you giving me the. Yeah, I had no clue they had like an opening for a spot or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll keep that in the back of my mind. I definitely want to do whatever I can to not only grow this channel, but grow my broadcasting, commentating abilities. I know today I'm off my game. I apologize for that. A lot of it is my lip being swollen. On the inside, again, you guys can't see it. I detailed why that was the case a couple days ago. It's not herpes, so don't start spreading that in the chat. That is not what is wrong with me. Yeah, I ended up biting my lip the other day when I was eating, and sure enough, coming into the weekend when I have to talk more frequently during the course of these races, I have an issue talking because it's rubbing up against my my tooth, my canine. All right, here we go. Green flag back in the air. Big wheel spin by Justin Allgaier on the outside of row 1. He's going to lose several positions. 3 and nearly 4 wide into the first turn in the top 10. Chandler Smith rolling up the middle as he split right between the 7 and the 21 to get the third. And somehow out of all that, Riley Herbst is going to get the second. Justin Allgaier, by far his worst restart of the day. He got to the lead the last 2 restarts on the outside of row 1, but this one he goes from second to battling for fourth now with Austin Hill, who is still underneath him ever since getting into turn 1 that first lap after the restart. They've been side by side for about a lap now. Very tightly door-to-door through turn 22 is the 7 and the 21. Almirola, again, continues to lead. Allgaier wins the battle over Austin Hill. And Allgaier had probably the best short-run speed of any driver in Stage 1. He got to the lead fairly early on Parker Retzlaff. Once he got that lead on the restart, kind of hung top 5 the whole time. Faded in the last 20 laps or so of that stage when the tires are very old and eaten away. So the short-run speed is there. Long-run speed, they're going to have to work on that if he's going to want to contend for the race win. Almirola, on the other hand, has a really good long-run speed. They mentioned over the broadcast already that he had the fastest 30-lap average in practice earlier this morning. So Eric Almirola doing well with himself right now and trying to hold on here for the short run so he doesn't have to try to get the back half of the tire run and get that position back. Another Toyota who seems to have really good long-run speed, who we haven't really seen or talked much about so far today, is Taylor Gray in the 19. He started 24th and made his way up to 9th before the end of Stage 1. So kind of chipped away at it. So as he continues to get track position, maybe he could fight for a win in contention in just his first career Cup start. Bubba Pollard as well, making that first career start in the Xfinity Series in the 88 for Junior Motorsports. Poor qualifying lap earlier today, had a slip up. He was actually the first car on track for qualifying after being fastest overall in practice. and qualified 37th, started deep in the field. He got up to about 16th, I think was the highest he ran in stage 1. So we'll see if he can continue to grow in the running order more and more throughout the course of this race as well. Poole making a pass, or trying to prevent being passed, I guess, by Corey Heim in the 26. Heim lost a lot of track position on that restart, but then also on pit road. Trying to get it back now. He actually led for a little bit in stage 1. Still ended up finishing 3rd in the stage as well, so see if he can get back up there to his Toyota counterpart who is leading the way. Parker Kligerman up to 6th as well. Yeah, he was very bad off the initial start. Started gaining ground on the long run. Short run for right now remains in 6th, so good recovery here for Kligerman from stage 1 into stage 2. AJ Allmendinger, who pitted towards the end of stage 1, gave up track position to make some major adjustments underneath the race car, as well as Shane Van Gisbergen giving up a bunch of their positions late in the stage. Van Gisbergen gets up to 16th again, and Allmendinger to 18th. And AJ was actually in the back half of the top 10 when he pitted. SVG, I think, was right around where he's running now. So the adjustments, at least for SVG, seem to be working out, considering that he's gotten right back to where he was running fairly quickly. And they did not take on fresh tires to gain some of that track position back at the end of stage 1 as well. So every team still has 2 sets of tires left to the end of this race. Half a second difference between P1 and P2. Almirola Herbst at the front of the field. Chandler Smith got the 3rd on this restart, trying to move forward. He won this race with Colleague Racing last season. And other than that race, the prior 6 were won by either Junior Motorsports or Joe Gibbs Racing. And obviously Chandler Smith with Joe Gibbs Racing right now. Sheldon Creed, Haley Deegan battling for position on the racetrack. Creed has not been good at all this weekend through practice. I should say today. I mean, the only on-track activity these Xfinity cars have had is today. Practice qualifying again took place pretty early this morning, about 8:30 to 9 a.m. local time. Bubba Pollard continues to try to move forward, battling AJ Allmendinger as the caution flag waves behind him. There's an incident off turn 4 involving the 14 of Dawson Cram. Rather Logan Bearden in that car this weekend. Apologize for that. Logan Bearden, the rookie, getting up against the fence. First caution of stage 2, our 4th caution in total when you count the stage 1 break at lap 75, and then the 2 cautions for incident we saw in stage 1. Like a little bit of contact with him and then the 6th car to his outside of Garrett Smithley. And ended up sending him around. $57 likes on the stream. Be sure to hit that like button again if you guys haven't done so yet. Just shy of the lap 100 mark out of 250 in today's race. A lot of smoke coming out from underneath of Patrick Emmerling's Chevrolet as well. He's on pit road, but interesting there. Seen a lot of fires from underneath of front tires of the cars today. A lot of engine issues so far as well. Brandon Jones, obviously right now with Patrick Emmerling, but Ryan Vargas, that first caution, he stalled out after having a major issue in a fire, resulting in a last place finish for him. Blaine Perkins is out of this race as well. I'm not sure what happened to him. He stalled out on the racetrack. That's right. He stalled out before they went green after the Brandon Jones-Ryan Sieg incident. And credit to Ryan Sieg for hanging on the lead lap still, despite the damage he had to the back of his car. He seemed to have had more damage than Brandon Jones from his impact from the wall, but obviously Jones had an engine issue, which resulted in him in not being able to get back going in the right direction. But for Ryan Sieg, he did not. He's still on the track with severe damage and still on the lead lap. Unfortunately, at the tail end of that lead lap in 33rd, Logan Bearden, who just brought out this caution, is the last car in the lead lap for now, but we get another lap or two in here, and we'll see if Logan can continue on in this race. after that spin. Doesn't have a lot of damage on the car. It's just mainly going to be whether it'll refire or not, on whether he'll be able to continue. Kenseth Edwards retires too early. Kenseth was getting up there in age. There was a slight decline in performance. You know, yeah, he won his second to last Cup race with JGR. Maybe you can wonder, like, maybe he had another year or two where he could have won maybe another race or so. But as far as competing for the championships go, yeah, those years were pretty much in his past at that point. Especially when you consider the fact that, I mean, what, his last full-time season would have been 2017. He won the championship 14 years before that, so there was a long break period between, you know, winning a championship and going without it. He competed for it there for a few years in his JGR days for sure, but yeah, I mean, yeah, like I mentioned, he definitely could have won more races, but championship side of things, I don't know. And I think he would have stayed at JGR for another couple of years or so if Eric Jones wasn't going to be thrusted behind the wheel that following season. We're trying to rush him in there. I think they definitely could have gotten somewhere, but they didn't want to miss an opportunity of getting Jones into the Cup Series, I think, where they felt if they would have kept him down, you know, Xfinity truck level for too long, that they would have missed out on an opportunity there. But then they ended up getting rid of him after a few years. So all in all, it ended up not mattering too much for Jones's sake. Now he's back with Toyota under the Legacy Motor Club banner. Lights are out on the pace car. They'll be going green this time by. Almirola inside of row one once again for this upcoming restart. If you're available Wednesday nights, be you, Eric, Danny, and the Ice. Oh, you're talking about for the NASCAR Weekly podcast. I don't think they actually have an opening for that, though, do they? I'd love to, but I don't think I have the. I feel like they would look for somebody with like a bigger following, bigger audience to bring along, because they rotate channels a lot with that stuff. So yeah, there'd be no chance. I'd love to be on there for a guest though. You guys have more power, I think, to reach out for something like that, you know, in, you know, any like comment sections or whatever on their behalf. I would love to be on the NASCAR Weekly podcast. That's where I first started getting into watching NASCAR content on YouTube back in 2018. I won't get into full detail of that right now because we're about to go green, but yeah, I would love to do that though, for sure. Definitely an inspiration of starting this channel a couple years ago. Green flag back in the air. Got a quick restart once again. Oh, a couple cars up against the wall as they get going. No caution. The 48, and I couldn't tell who went with him. Tough break for Parker Kligerman. Definitely crunched the right rear of his race car a little bit. Wait to see a replay of exactly how that happened and who all got up there with him. But he goes way back in the running order, and it looks like Taylor Gray got into Cole Custer, and then Custer got into Kligerman. They were nearly 4 wide on the restart at 1 and 2, and that's what led to the contact. And unfortunately, Kligerman, being in the outside lane of everybody, got the worst of it. And it looked like Cole Custer, Taylor Gray easily kept it off the wall, but unfortunately for Kligerman, he got up against it, and he has fallen now outside the top 20 after running as high as 6th in this race prior to that happening. Now he's 3 wide on the outside of Bubba Pollard and Sheldon Creed. And contact between Creed and Pollard underneath of Kligerman. Kligerman needs to get out of Dodge. That contact allowed him to clear to the inside, and now he's no longer in the outside groove. Kyle Weatherman flirting with a top 10 position in the running order as him and Retzlaff go back and forth for 9th. Parker Retzlaff went from the pole back to 16th at the end of stage 1. He's recovered back to 9th. On the short run after this restart, of course, is still relatively early at stage 2 in the grand scheme of things, not quite halfway through the stage yet. Allgaier side by side for position. With the 81, Chandler Smith won that battle on the outside, getting by him. And Justin Allgaier now up to second place. So Allgaier back to second, showing why he is fast on the shorter runs, but can he sustain over the long runs? I will say in every long run there is a short run, so it is good to be good on the short run, but can he make that last? And it's going to depend on how many more cautions we get throughout the course of the day today. Now there's smoke coming out from underneath the 18. And I don't know if that was because of contact that was made with Bubba Pollard, but the way that the smoke looks to be laying out of the back bumper of that race car doesn't look to be a tire rub. Wait to see the right side of the car here. He's got a donut on the door, but it looks like it's coming from underneath the car. We've had several engine issues already today, kind of out of nowhere, and it's been with a plethora of manufacturers. I think each manufacturer has had some sort of a engine or something of that issue so far, because the one Ford would have been that 29 car early on. So yeah, something's going on here with Sheldon Creed, and we'll monitor that as we also monitor a battle for fifth between Sam Mayer and Austin Hill. They're side by side. This for fifth. We haven't had a green flag run longer than 30 laps so far today, with getting a caution for incident somewhere at about that point, if not shorter, into a green flag run. It's resulted in a lot of cars still in the lead lap. See the 19 of Taylor Gray still in contention, still up in seventh. Donut on the side of his race car as well. We'll go through the full field running order here for the first time today. Eric Almirola is currently your race leader. 1 second race lead over Justin Allgaier in second. Chandler Smith is third. Riley Herbst fourth. Fifth place for Austin Hill. Sixth place for Sam Mayer. Taylor Gray in seventh. Eighth place for Sammy Smith. Ninth is Parker Retzlaff. Jesse Love rounds out the top 10. 11th place for Kyle Weatherman. Corey Hyman 12th. Cole Custer 13th. AJ Allmendinger 14th. Shane Van Gisbergen is in 15th. 16th is Bubba Pollard. Josh Williams 17th. Jeb Burt 18th. Parker Kligerman 19th. Getting the Parkers mixed up all day today. Josh Bilicki in 20th. Brendan Poole 21st. Leland Honeyman 22nd. Jeremy Clements 23rd. Sheldon Creed 24th. 25th for Matt DiBenedetto. Ryan Ellison 26th. Logan Bearden 27th. Kyle Sieg 28th. Garrett Smithley 29th. Haley Deegan is 30th. Dawson Cram 31st. Joey Gase last car in the lead lap 32nd. Ryan Sieg's now 2 laps down in 33rd. Anthony Alfredo 2 laps down 34th. Patrick Emily out of the race now 35th. Blaine Perkins 36th. Brandon Jones 37th. Ryan Vargas 38th. 4 drivers have DNF'd thus far. 48 laps led for your current race leader, Eric Almirola. He's led the most. He won stage 1. He's led 2 different times today. 28 laps led for the pole sitter, Parker Retzlaff, early on. 23 laps led for Justin Allgaier. He's led 2 different times. And Corey Hyman's led twice for 15 laps led. Those are the 4 drivers to lead at least 1 lap in the race. And between those 4 different leaders, we've had 6 lead changes. 4 cautions to this point, 3 for incident, most recent at lap 95. And our average race speed at lap 113 of 250 is 74.31 miles per hour. I do have to get get my phone on a charger here real quick. And while I do that, we'll take a quick ad break, and then I'll get the race back up and running here very shortly. Apologize for that. Alrighty. Still under green flag conditions. Just about ready to turn the race on my TV, so that way at least I can watch the audio. I'm going to be looking in a much different direction than I usually am, but we'll have something here very, very shortly. Almirola still leading the way. 0.8 of a second now is his gap over Justin Allgaier in second place. Lap times between the top two. Allgaier actually quicker that last lap, but only by about 0.08 of a second, so still pretty close within the top few positions in the running order. There we go. We're good. Just a slight powwow, but we're good now. Calling cars battling. All three of them, 1, 2, 3 in their running orders in 15th, 16th, and 17th. Make that 14th, 15th, 16th. Josh Williams on the slow incline throughout the race today. Qualified well outside the top 20. 26, I believe, is where he started. Has not had a great season in his first year in colleague equipment. And that goes across the board, not only full-time in the Xfinity Series, but even the couple races he's ran on the Cup side of things. So hopefully he can pick it up so he can be in that ride for future years to come, but definitely not a good run of things right now. Filling the void from Daniel Hemrick, obviously running full-time in that 11 car the last several seasons after he had won an Xfinity championship with Joe Gibbs Racing just before moving to colleague. He didn't win any races, though, but he did qualify for the playoffs off of points for a couple seasons, so we'll see if Williams can pick it up. If he's going to want to point his way into the playoffs, so he better get this thing turned around quickly, otherwise he's going to be in a must-win situation, which he has never won in his Xfinity Series career, so that'd be pretty tough for him to try to do that to make his way in. Retzlaff making a pass for 8th place over Sammy Smith the last lap. A couple other cars battling side by side for position on screen yet. Sammy Parker going at it again. Retzlaff on the inside. Sammy Smith on the outside. Down to 28 laps to go in stage 2. Just about halfway home in this race today. Clicking on by. 1.5 second lead now for Almirola over Chandler Smith, who had taken over second from Allgaier. So Allgaier, again, not very good on the long run. He's good on the short run. The long run, he tends to fade. He is now falling back to third and may lose a few more positions for the end of the stage, considering we still have 27 to go to get there. Long run speed definitely not there. And now, one thing I will note that could lead into Allgaier's lack of success in the long runs, his longest lap average run that he would have had in practice was only 15 laps this morning. So he didn't make a run longer than 15 laps in practice. So never really got a chance to look to see what that long run speed was going to be like for him. Still a couple tenths faster a lap, it seems like, for Almirola over his Toyota counterpart at JGR of Chandler Smith. Chandler trying to run him down and win back-to-back Richmond races. Again, a winner here last April was Chandler Smith. One of 2 Xfinity career wins he has. The other came already this year at Phoenix at a similar style racetrack. So this kind of racing works out well for him. He led a lot of laps that day. Led a lot of laps at Phoenix already this season. It's been a good young start to 2024 for Chandler Smith. .9 second difference now between the 20 and the 81. Yeah, it's consistently a tenth or two quicker lap for Almirola over Chandler Smith at this point in the run. And we're exactly halfway home, 125 laps down, 125 still to go. Guaranteed one more caution with the stage end, which will be at lap 150 and 100 laps to go. And the final stage will be right about the edge of a fuel run. A lot of these teams still have 2 sets of tires left to make it to the end of this race. Practically all the teams do, at least the ones obviously in contention for the race win. I'd imagine if the final stage goes green to the end, there will be a pit stop at some point in time there. And we will see green flag pit stops in the final stage if there isn't any cautions. But with the lack of tires, I think that's the only reason we didn't see it in stage 1 or stage 2 with them being 75 laps. Obviously with the cautions, that's why nobody really came in to pit under yellow anytime. Making a big deal over the broadcast today, and rightfully so. Eric Almirola made his Xfinity Series debut 18 years ago as of the 2006 Spring Richmond race. Oddly enough, in the 20 with Joe Gibbs Racing, and he's running that car number here today. Interviewing Sheldon Creed, who has retired from the race with an engine issue. Can't get that to you guys right now. I apologize for that. Again, but I can turn the audio up on my TV, but it's too far away from where my laptop is. I don't think you guys are going to be able to hear it, unfortunately. Anthony Alfredo is the first car 1 lap down right now, but I don't think that is going to stand true to the end of the stage if we stay green. Leaders starting to deal with more and more lap traffic as we're down to just 19 laps to go now in this second stage. Austin Hill, Riley Herbst going toe-to-toe with Taylor Gray in the mix, all battling for 5th. 3-car battle for that position. Oh, Herbst sliding way up the racetrack now. Going to hold on. It caused Austin Hill to have to roll out of the gas more than he wanted to through 3 and 4. Taylor Gray is there. Hill qualified 16th for this race, but he has ran back half of the top 10 for most of it. So, again, one of those drivers kind of just slowly progressing through the field over the course of this one. Shout out to Sam Mayer, making a pass for 3rd on his teammate Justin Allgaier. Finally got that first top 10 of the season last week at COTA, and looking for the first top 5 of the season here today at Richmond after 3 DNFs in the first 4 races. Really looking to turn the season around as he's still well outside the cutoff line for points. But Sam Mayer, again, trying to work forward. Gained 4 spots in the standings last week. Looking to pick up about that many, if not more, here this weekend with a solid points day, which he has had so far. The 19 to the 98, nose to tail. Taylor Gray did pass Herbst for 6th on the racetrack. Riley fading on the long run just a bit. He has been as high as 7th in the running order today as Herbst in the 98. Down to 16 laps to go now. And 69 likes on the stream. Again, our goal is to get to 100, which we obliterated last week. Last week was our most viewed Xfinity Series race of the season, so greatly appreciate everybody that tuned in throughout last weekend's streams. But set a record last week for the most likes on an Xfinity stream this year, as well as most watched Xfinity race of the season. I think we ended up with like 167 likes at the end of that stream. So let's get to 100 here today. To get to that goal before the end. And also be sure to vote for who you think is going to win the race in the tab, the poll, I should say, that is open in the community. Well, not the community tab. You don't have to go there. Go to the comments section if you're not already there or have not been there throughout the course of the stream and vote for who you think is going to win. 79 votes have been casted so far. And again, we closed those polls at the end of stage 2. We're only 13 laps away from that point right now. 39% say somebody other than Allgaier, Custer, or Chandler Smith will win. Right now, Almirola dominating this one to this point. So, guys in the chat looking to be right by the way things are looking right now. Oh, nice crossover move. Jesse Love got passed by Custer, gets right back underneath him in the next corner through turns 1 and 2. They're battling for that last stage point here for 10th. Retzlaff not that much further in front of him. Lap car, the 29 on the outside, back rolling again after he had issues earlier. He's many laps down. Custer going to get underneath the 29 as he gets way up out of the way. Pinches the 2 down a little bit more. Corner exit off turn 4. Retires 12th place, and he's trying to get into the top 10 before the end of the stage. And I think he's still looking for his first top 10 of the season as well as Williams. Having a good run. This is the first traditional short track race for the Xfinity Series this season. Remember, they did not run at Bristol 2 weeks ago. That was their only off week of the year so far. But back-to-back short tracks for them on the schedule as well as the Cup Series as they'll be at Martinsville next week. Jeb Burton on screen. Battling just outside the top 20. Jeremy Clements right in front of him in 22nd. Matt DiBenedetto's also snuck into the top 20 late in the stage. He's up to 18th. I believe that's a race high for him. The other calling cards, though, Shane Van Gisbergen and AJ Allmendinger have struggled today. For every portion of stage 2, they've been pretty much 14th or worse. Right now, SVG 18th and Allmendinger back in 20th. Again, former winner at Richmond in colleague equipment in that 16 car, but it has been a struggle today, to say the least, for AJ. Sam Mayer going for second underneath Chandler Smith. And the late going to stage 2. Over 3 seconds off the race leader, and Mayer trying to get himself in contention to maybe battle with Eric Almirola over the long haul of the next stage. Get that leaderboard back up for you guys. Sorry for that. 3.3 seconds is the difference between Almirola and now Mayer, who has taken over second. Mayer all clear. 7 to go. Stage 2. Almirola's already led 78 laps and counting. Continues through lap traffic. 28 cars in the lead lap for the moment. And we've seen about 2 seconds of tire fall off over the course of stage 2. Sun seems to be peeking back on the track a little bit more now than what it was in the first half of this race. And really all throughout the morning and practice of qualifying for both Xfinity and Cup Series action earlier today. Allgaier continues to struggle. He's back in 5th. Struggle by way of the long run speed, I should say. Obviously in the running order, still top 5. Austin Hill slowly catching him. Taylor Gray made the pass on Allgaier for 4th a few laps ago, so 19 car out the 4th. You got 3 Toyotas for Joe Gibbs Racing in the top 4. And Hill looking to take that spot away. Corey Heim, another Toyota, not for JGR, but for Sam Hunt Racing, who was 3rd at the end of stage 1. Fell behind on the pit sequence at the end of stage 1. Also had a bad restart. Fell to about 12th, 13th place, but he is getting going now. He has caught the 7 and the 21 in a 3-car battle for 5th. Again in the waning laps of the stage. So Toyota's really coming on strong here today. Logan Bearden had to pit for tires after his spin in the middle of stage 2. As a result of that, he is now in 11th. But he does have fresher tires than the rest of the field. And also as a result of that, that could allow him to steal a stage point away from Josh Williams, who is currently in 10th place and within a couple car lengths in front of Bearden. 2 to go, stage 2. Almirola still about 2.5 to 3 seconds ahead of Mayer. More lap traffic still in front of him. Brendan Poole at the tail end of that. Corey Heim went through past the 21 of Hill. Now he's on the inside of Allgaier. He's had a similar position. Allgaier was battling for 4th at the end of stage 1. With a couple cars right behind him with Sam Mayer and I'm trying to think who else was up there at that point. It might have been Taylor Gray. But this time it's going to be Corey Heim and Austin Hill trying to battle him. And it's for 5th instead of 4th. Green and white checkered flag waving now for the second time today. And the stage sweeper, Eric Almirola, winning both stage 1 and stage 2. Heim gets by Allgaier in the last lap for 5th. And it does look like Bearden did get by Williams on the last lap for 10th. So stage point stolen away from Josh in the 11. So your stage 2 results, the top 10 at least who will get stage points. Eric Almirola, again, another playoff point for the 20 car for the owner standings, having that win, trying to go for another win. 2 stage wins, though, for Eric Almirola today. Sam Mayer 2nd. Chandler Smith was 3rd. Taylor Gray 4th. And Corey Heim in the last lap got to 5th. 4 Toyotas in the top 5 at the end of stage 2. Justin Allgaier fell to 6th, as high as 2nd at one point in this stage. Austin Hill 7th. Parker Retzlaff back up to 8th place after starting on the pole. Cole Custer 9th, and Logan Bearden rounds out the top 10. Again, Bearden had fresher tires than the rest of the field at the end of that stage, so that's what got him into the top 10. He's going to have one less set of tires left here to the end. He's basically going to have his final set of tires coming up here during the stage end. Unless he stays out and then ends up, just having that to begin the final stage. We'll see how that goes. Only one caution for incident in stage 2. And it was on lap 95, so that was the longest green flag run of the day of nearly 50 laps. Just less than 50 green flag laps to the end of the stage there. Final stage a little bit longer than stages 1 and 2. Once we get back to racing, we'll probably have right around 90 laps to go, give or take, to the end. To put us in an interesting situation as to whether or not we'll get into green flag pit stops. And that definitely decided the winner of the race last year between Chandler Smith and Austin Hill on pit strategy. And that could be the difference in who goes to victory lane and who doesn't here in this race today as well. Tire strategy, big key whenever you go to Richmond, no matter the series. Until they repave this place, at least. Which, knowing the next gen, short track package, I really hope they don't repave this place, because this is probably going to be the best racing that we could see at Richmond Raceway. Definitely on the Cup side of things for maybe not that many more years to come. At some point, they will have to repave it, but we'll see how this track will go through its change over the years. So we'll have our second set of pit stops coming up pretty shortly. Get my phone back on so I can get the broadcast to you guys during the pit stop sequence upcoming. Listening live once again to the ToyotaCare 250 at Richmond on KRC. We'll take a quick ad break, continue our live commentary coverage of Stage 3. Might be able to get this back up and running before we get to pit stops. It's going to be close. Be perfect timing. I would have timed this out like nearly perfect if I do it. He timed it perfect. Craven got him. Yep, here we go. My TV's actually a little ahead of my phone. Yep, pit road is open this time. Second to last stops of the day.
Goodyear tires and have one set left after this.
Almirola is looking to maintain the lead, Regan.
That's absolutely what he's looking to do right now, Brad. As far as the car, it is good for him right now. The entry and exit went away just a little bit more than he wanted to that run, getting a little bit free at the end. And the 81 of Chandler Smith, his biggest struggle is rear grip. The front end is numb also, but he needs some help with the rear grip. Josh?
How about this debut for the 19 of Taylor Gray? Fourth in stage number 2, he said that car fired off good, got a little loose towards the end of that run. And then for the 1 of Sam Mayer, said that car was solid overall. Started to lose the tires towards the end. He said, if you make any adjustments, just a little bit tighter for me.
Mentioned maintaining position. Race off pit road. Once again, the 20 team delivers. Contact coming out of the pits there. Taylor Gray, Sam Mayer. +1 for Gray.
Austin Hill's pit crew's been on it today, gaining 3 positions on pit road. He gained 8 earlier on the only other pit stop we've had. 5 positions gained for Riley Herbst as well. Josh Williams up 2 spots. Cole Custer up a couple. No gain for Justin Allgaier. And your race winner off pit road easily was the race winner at the end of Stage 1 and Stage 2, that being Eric Almirola. Sam Mayer, though, second for this upcoming restart. Taylor Gray up to third. See how he does. Chandler Smith lost 2 positions on pit road, going from third back to fifth. SVG up a few spots to 14th, just outside the top 10. Once again, be sure to hit that like button on the stream if you guys haven't done so yet. I ended the poll at the end of Stage 2 on the chat. 82 votes were casted. Thank you for voting. And 37% of you say somebody other than Allgaier, Custer, or Chandler Smith will win. Very close poll, though. Allgaier only 1% less of those votes at 36%. He was my pick to win the race. He just doesn't seem to have the long run speed to do so. Cole Custer, 14% of the votes. Chandler Smith at 10%. So see if you guys are right. It's either going to be you, me, or none of us, as there was more than 2 options. So obviously, there's a possibility that could happen every week. Leaderboard having a great day so far? Yeah, so far so good. We haven't, knock on wood, we haven't had any issues. We shouldn't have any issues with it today, at least, because it's running. Yeah, it's just whether or not I have it at the start of the race or not. Last week at COTA, I did for the Cup Series, and that's kind of hit or miss on a weekly basis. More often than not for the Cup races when I have the issues with it, but I haven't had any issues with it for truck or Xfinity races this season. Cup practice qualifying rolls by pretty fine. No hiccups there. So we got our Stage 2 diecast showing. And I mentioned it was going to be a Busch Series car, Xfinity Series, but Busch Series at the time. And this is from 2002. Yes, 2002 diecast. Greg Biffle, baby. The Biff. My original favorite driver growing up. Of course, this is when he won the championship in 2002 in the Busch Series. So this is a championship-winning diecast. Got this at Bristol Motor Speedway, I think for the dirt race in 2022 when I was there. I bought a bunch of diecast. I bought like 10 diecasts that day. This was one of them. I saw this. I was like, yeah, I got to have it. I remember the charter car, obviously, growing up. The Biff. Again, this is a championship-winning car, too, from 2002 specifically. So wanted to show this diecast off with it being an Xfinity race today. We got a former Xfinity champion, former Xfinity Series paint scheme, car, driver. Like to see this run during Throwback Weekend. I don't think that's been done yet. Be big for me as a fan. Carl Edwards drove the same paint scheme just after him in the Busch Series as well. Didn't win a championship in this car in particular, but still had some race wins and cool scheme, at least for myself nonetheless.
Sam Mayer, great afternoon. Chandler Smith, Justin Allgaier also scoring a bunch of points. Let's go back to the exit of pit road after stops and watch Taylor Gray and Sam Mayer get connected.
Yeah, big contact here. And look at all the damage on Mayer.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of damage there. It looks like it's behind the tire, so it should be okay. I hope.
Almirola Mayer, front row for the restart. Final stage at Richmond.
Mayer with a solid launch.
Oh, the fender right off the
yep.
bat. Ooh. And that's from that damage on pit road.
Chandler Smith coming through to third.
Restarts under review. It looked like maybe Chandler Smith went just a little bit early on the outside. To see what NASCAR thinks here.
That's a lot of rubbing on the left front of Sam Mayer. The start of the season's been so tough for him. He's showed speed and he's in position to win the race right now, or to possibly win the race. And I don't know if that one's going to hold there, Bradley.
Oof. I'm glad we don't have to decide. We're going to watch the restart real quick. What I want to pay attention to is this car right here. Chandler Smith. Did he go a little bit early?
Sam Mayer on the outside.
Sam Mayer, sorry.
Restart,
that's
all
too
good.
Close to call for me. So NASCAR's going to give it all clear as well.
Mayer dodges one bullet, no penalty on the restart. Now, what happens with that damage in the tire? We'll keep an eye on it.
It almost looks like it might be getting a little bit better.
Oh,
no, it's flat. It's flat.
Well, he's going to have to limp around here for a lap. He just missed pit road. That's the worst place that tire could have gone flat. Luckily, he didn't hit the wall, but he's got to get all the way around here.
Sam Mayer having a great day. Top 5 stage 1, top 5 stage 2. Scored a bunch of stage points, exactly what he needed. But now problems, and the race for the lead is on. Teammates going at it. Chandler Smith inside of Eric Almirola, the 81 out front at Richmond.
There's action everywhere on this racetrack as Sam Mayer gets to pit road. You have to wonder, this run here, Joey, is one of the longest runs of the race. Is Eric Almirola really saving his tires? They've only got one set left, right?
I would think so. They got one set of tires left. There is a couple ways to play this. You could split this run in half and pit under green. That's going to be the fastest if it runs green the whole way. And if you do that, it's actually not that long of a run. But if the caution comes out, you're in trouble.
Yep.
You'll be out of tires.
With left side tires on Sam Mayer's car, really costly. He's going to lose at least 2 laps, maybe even 3 laps here.
Yeah, it's going to take him out of contention. Such a bummer for him. Nothing he could have done. He's rolling down pit road, and the 19 just drives right into his door. Nothing he can do there, and unfortunately, that's going to cost us a top 30 finish probably.
Haley Deegan back in the pack.
Some good action shots here. Corey Heim again and drove up to the top 5. Lost some spots here in the restart and on pit road, trying to recover back from that. He's got one of the fastest cars. And we saw him really take off at the end of that run. So he's hoping this thing goes, 90-some laps straight here, Joey.
Yeah.
Sam Mayer back on track. Being scored 32nd, 2 laps down.
Yeah, he's got a little bit newer tires. That's the difference. We just went back green not too long ago.
I was going to say, they haven't been out there that long, and already you see the difference.
That's how much. 8-10 laps on tires is a really big deal.
And he doesn't even have 4 new tires. I think they only took less.
Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, it's even crazier.
It does look like they were able to fix it to where it's not smoking anymore. Here's Corey Heim passing the 19, Taylor Gray. You see all the rubber is off the right side tire on Taylor Gray's car. That had to do some damage to that. Maybe just cosmetic, but hopefully just cosmetic and not the suspension. But hard to tell. That was big contact.
But he too has gone in the wrong direction since the restart. Talking about Taylor Gray. I'm trying to complete the pass. Parker Kligerman, last car inside the top 10. Just in front of him, the rookie Jesse Love.
Yeah, Taylor Gray -9 since the restart in that contact we saw.
Yeah, Sam Mayer doesn't touch on it one more time. He's back to 32nd, 2 laps down. After that incident, he was 3 down. He got 1 lap back there when he passed Chip Smith.
Riley Herbst at one time was inside the top 5. He's now 7th and has company from our pole setter, Parker Retzlaff. If you're Parker, you go out and get your first career pole, you'd love to finish the deal and win. But the bottom line is a top 5 is a great day for them. A top 10 is exactly where they need to be when you look at where they are and the balance of their program. And he's taking care of the car. And when he needed to give, he has. And now here we are, 79 to go, and he's in position to capitalize on what would be his 3rd top 10 finish of the year. Let's take you side by side. 79 remaining at Richmond. Chandler Smith in front of his teammate Eric Almirola. Allgaier, Hill, Custer complete the top 5.
Side-by-side commercial break right now on Fox Sports 1. Chandler Smith has taken the race lead on the restart for the moment away from his teammate, Eric Almirola. Under caution, it looks like. First time in stage 3, heavy impact to the back of the 35 car. Looks to be in turns 3 and 4, I do believe. And so Joey Gase, who was already a lap down at the time of that happening, is now going to be out of the race. So the caution flag is out for the first time in stage 3. This will be the 6th caution total of the race, 4th per incident. And Chandler Smith, who had just taken the race lead away on the restart, him and a lot of other teams are going to have to decide whether they're going to want to pit or not. And oh my goodness, I've never seen that before. Joey Gase ran down the bank into the racetrack with the rear bumper cover of his car to throw it at another car in oncoming traffic. That is wild. I've never seen that. I don't condone that. I know NASCAR's got to frown upon that because they're not supposed to, run down the racetrack like that. He did. He didn't miss. Rear bumper cover landed on the top of, pretty much on the hood of the car he threw it at. I couldn't tell who he threw it at, but he threw it at someone. Short track tempers at Richmond here this weekend in this NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Yeah, I don't know who he threw it at though. I saw it happen live, and it happened so fast they cut to him, and he's just running down the racetrack with the rear bumper cover. I've never seen that. I've seen equipment thrown at other cars before, but I've never seen a rear bumper cover thrown at another race car before. That is definitely something new. 75 laps to go. Meanwhile, at Richmond, 175 laps in the books. Yeah, waiting to see if we get any pit stops. We may not. If it goes green the rest of the way, these teams are going to wish they pitted now. I'll tell you that much.
You saw it while we were side by side, but we're going to have to go full with this. 6th caution of the day for Joey Gase. And he's obviously frustrated with fellow competitor Dawson Cram. First, here's what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Dawson Cram
He
was
just kind of tagged down into turn 1 and hard into the outside wall. Real hard hit for Joey Gase.
That's part 1 of the highlight.
So he's going to take a moment to really express his frustration here. First, he's going to finish tearing the rear bumper cover off his car, and then wait for Dawson Cram. And his timing and throw was pretty impeccable here.
Yeah, he did a good job at this right here.
I think I would have left my driver gloves on. OSHA would not have approved pulling that bumper cover off.
Yeah, that's got to be sharp.
That part of the playing in the traffic part.
Yes, yes.
I was going to say, OSHA has a problem with no gloves. NASCAR has a problem with walking down near traffic, and I'm sure he'll get a phone call and maybe some other items out of it.
I mean, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying I understand.
I understand, and you know what? For all those people who say we're not athletes, boom, right there. We can throw.
It's a pretty impressive throw. You know, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration. I want to hear Dawson Cram's radio on this.
What happened with the 35 there, Dawson?
Kind of crossed my nose on exit. I just went to carry tires down the front stretch. I let him go at the start-finish line, and he started spinning. I only pushed him for like 2 seconds.
Well, it was 2 seconds too many.
I mean, we need. I wish we had a little better angle of exactly how that all happened, but got him a little too much.
Yep, I think there's some explaining to do there. Beyond that, we're in a critical juncture of this race, guys. They have 1 set of tires left in the pits. Pits are going to open here pretty soon, and I am so glad right now that I am not a crew chief in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, because if you pit here and another yellow comes out, this race is over if somebody else puts tires on when you don't have any left.
Yeah, you got to think this is a split call. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer at this point. You don't know how it's going to play out. If you run 50 laps from here and there's a caution with 20 so laps to go and you got no tires left, you're not going to win.
But you got these scuffs, right? We're seeing in the pylon. It's been 23 laps since they pitted. A few of those under caution. So you take these off, you save them in case you get the late caution, and then you run upstairs. I'm just throwing it out.
We're all, you should see our faces right now.
I'm not suggesting that's the best policy. I'm just presenting the option.
Pits are still close. We've got another lap or 2 to figure it out, which these crew chiefs are really biting their nails right now. Well, this is a great time for us to compare.
Yeah. Let's do the bumper cover Olympics, right?
Well, that's the deck lid.
Oh, yeah.
That still counts.
His own car.
Right. Yeah. Deck lid, bumper cover, parts and pieces from the rear of the car.
A lot heavier, though. It's a lot heavier piece, so you got to put that in consideration.
But Joey Gase had to run down, find the car, throw it, and hit it.
Hard. Very technical.
If we're saying who did it better, it's a close one. I'm going to take Joey.
Joey Gase, definitely. The difficulty level of what he just accomplished was pretty tough.
It was gutsy.
At least he wore his helmet, though. I do like that. Smart.
The big difference here is going to be, I don't think NASCAR was upset at Justin Allgaier. I think they might get upset at Joey Gase.
Now they're returning it right here. Thank you.
Sign it, auction it for charity.
I think that's getting returned to the NASCAR hauler, which is usually not a good sign when you're wondering if you're going to get in trouble or not if it makes its way to the principal's office.
Andy Street, saw there on the pit box, crew chief for Austin Hill, running 4th.
Pits are open. Here we go. Moment of truth here. Big decision to be made.
Here they come, Justin Allgaier
it
first to
splits.
stay out.
It splits.
Mixed bag. Allgaier stayed out, so did Cole Custer. Here they are, Regan.
Eric Almirola, when the caution came out, said he thought it was too early. Obviously, he got overruled. Needs a little bit of adjustment for grip right here. And the 81 of Chandler Smith, they changed their plan. Originally, it was plan 2, which must have been to stay out. They went to plan 4, which was to go ahead and pit. Josh.
And for the 21 of Austin Hill, they elected to come in. Also was complaining that he started sliding those fronts way too much and still tight across the middle. So the decision to come in and pit now and get those tires.
We have some entertainment coming our way. Old tires versus new tires.
Oh, my goodness.
Teams rooting for a caution, others that would like to see it go green.
And this is where it becomes a lot of fun. When we talked about Richmond and being the purest of races, that's what this is all about right now. There's no telling how this is going to play out, but it's going to be fun to watch.
Two veterans out front that have combined to win here 3 times, Allgaier and Custer. 6th caution of the day. Joey Gase not happy and showing his frustration at Dawson Cam.
All right, so we had split strategy. Cars staying out on the racetrack, hoping that we get a caution a little bit later. Cars that came down onto pit road. Only one set of tires remains for the teams that did not pit, and the teams that did pit, they're on their final set right now. They can't pit again for fresh Goodyears the rest of this one. So they're the ones hoping this stays green to the end. We have had only one caution for incident in the final stage, and we have had very few cautions for incidents total in today's race, 4 of them. We only had 1 in stage 2, and then we had a nearly 50-lap green flag run to the end. Now, it is worth stating that if we do go green and we don't have another caution, this would be the longest green flag run of the race. So by the way the trends are rolling, I would think that we're going to get another caution. And those teams that stayed out right here could be in prime position to get the win. And honestly, the teams that did stay out, I didn't think had anything for the Toyotas anyway. All the Toyotas at the front of the field did pit for fresh tires this time. Chandler Smith, Eric Almirola, Corey Heim, Taylor Gray. I think those cars are going to be fast enough to win. Sam Mayer was in contention, had the flat left front tire. Unfortunately, he has fallen a couple laps down. Currently 2 laps down, and 31st is where Mayer is shown on the leaderboard. Justin Allgaier leads this race. He was my pick to win. So if we get a caution, I think he has a good shot to win the race. But if it stays green, obviously he's not going to have any sort of a shot. Everybody from 17th, make that 16th. 16th on back will have fresh tires. The top 15 on older tires for this restart. And it's just going to be a race of who can get to the field the quickest, who can get to the front of the field the quickest of those that did pit for fresh tires, because they're going to have over a second a lap difference in the drivers that are going to be on the older Goodyears here for the beginning of this run. It's going to be wild. It is going to be wild. And then if we get another restart, that one's going to be really wild too, because it'll be an alternating strategy, which will honestly lead into something similar to what we are seeing right now. Jim Troyer, Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Joey the Bumper Thumper. Bumper Thumper Gase. That's not a bad nickname to just come up with on the spot. Delbert Wilson, thanks for tuning in. Alrighty. Got 76 likes on the stream. Our goal is 100, ladies and gentlemen. We have about that many people watching right now. So be sure to hit the like button if you guys have not done so yet. Subscribe for more NASCAR content. Again, goal is to get to 100 likes on the stream. We're 24 away. We're at 76. Smash that like button. Let's get to our goal here as we're in the waiting laps.
Dawson Cram hitting the back with Joey Gase pretty late down the back stretch, and that's what Joey's fired up about. That's going to get him loose, and he's not going to be able to save this thing before turn 1, Joey.
No, he was very sideways at that point. And yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for being mad about that.
Dawson Cram on the receiving end of it. Top 14 drivers stayed out. Front row, Allgaier, Custer.
And this is going to be a show right here, guys, with the top 14 on old tires, everybody behind them on new tires. Chandler Smith on the outside of 3. He's going to try to pass them all here as fast as he can, get the lead and run away.
And he will get there with that much newer tires. He's going to get there pretty quickly. And these guys up front, they're hoping it runs 30, 40 laps and the caution comes out.
Custer gets the lead outside lane.
Now, what you don't want right now, if you're one of the cars on new tires, you do not want to cause a yellow. You don't want a yellow period, but you certainly don't want to cause it. You got to be really careful working your way through this traffic.
Chandler Smith up to 9th.
Joey Gates checked and released from the infield care center. Joey, we saw the contact going down the front straightaway. Was there anything else that led to that contact prior?
I think him just not having his head screwed on right. You know, I gave the kid his first opportunity ever in Xfinity, and I know Johnny Davis is in the business of wrecking race cars, and we're definitely not. We're small teams and racing hard for the lucky dog, and apparently he just didn't know how to lift. So maybe his throttle stuck. I don't know.
Thanks, Joey.
Well, you can certainly understand the hard feelings there.
Absolutely.
What do tires mean? Chandler Smith has worked his way to 5th. Outside of Parker Retzlaff.
And I keep saying this, if the caution comes out late, the roles are being reversed for Chandler Smith. As quickly as he's driving through the field, the 00, the 7, the 98, the 31, all these guys, when they put tires on, it's going to look the complete opposite. If they get the opportunity to do it, that's the big question right now.
Nobody knows what will happen here. This is really the race. The race right now is the 81 and the 20 car. There's no way these guys are not going to prevail against the 00, Cole Custer, the 7 of Justin Allgaier. They're making passes so fast right here with new tires. But what you're watching here is the battle between the 81 and 20. And why that is they're on equal tires. And they're going to make these passes. The question will be after they make these passes, if there's no yellow, who's going to make the best run here?
Yeah, and that's why you see Chandler Smith. You got to get through this traffic as quickly as possible. Get yourself up front and run away from the 20. Because if it does run green, that's the guy you're racing.
Top 4 that pitted all in the top 10. Mentioned Smith, Almirola, Corey Heim is up there. Same for Jesse Love. On board with Heim now, as Smith goes after Allgaier for 2nd. No problem. Chandler Smith has led 17 laps today. Led 83 here a year ago. Got his first career victory. And he's going to be back on point as we see 59 to go. The fresher tires get him to the front. Smith around Custer, 81, is on the point one more time.
And we see right back there Eric Almirola. He's 3 cars behind him right now. He's got to pass those cars and still run them down. And Chandler Smith just passed the 20 right before that last caution. So he's got a fast race car.
Yep. How much tire did he use? We can't tell from in the booth, but that's the question. How much tire did he use making all these passes so quickly? There's still a lot of laps to go, 59 laps left.
Austin Hillman, 21, another one of those drivers that elected to come down pit road, has worked his way to the top 10. Same for Parker Kligerman. He made the stop. He's 11th right now.
Shane Van Gisbergen, he stayed out. He's one of those guys that is pulling for another caution to come here. Doesn't probably want it right now. They'd probably like for this yellow, if they're going to get it, they'd probably like it for it to come with 20, 30 laps to go.
Yeah, you get another 10 to 12 laps. I mean, at that point, you're going to be sitting pretty.
Eric Almirola's run down Cole Custer. And he's still in striking range, right, of Chandler Smith. He's going to end up being about a 2.5 back after this pass for 2nd place. So he's going to be able to keep him honest.
The top 2 that pitted are now 1-2 on track after driving through those that stayed out.
And restarting back
outside the top 15.
Outside top 15.
Yeah, top 14 that stayed on track. Yeah. Jesse Love up to 6, Corey Heim 7th. Other drivers that made pit stops.
Yeah, those guys had to pass 12 cars. 12 to 13 cars to get back to where they're at right now.
Taylor Gray playing that same strategy to come down pit road, making his first ever start. He's rallied back up to 11th. You see Bubba Pollard on track behind him. He's had so much thrown at him today, making his first ever start. Great in practice, first driver out in qualifying. Such a difficult chore. He has to come from the back, but stayed on the lead lap, kept himself in the game, and a strategy play is going to put him in position for a top 10 here.
See Justin Allgaier and Cole Custer battling each other. They have the same tires, so that could be a battle for later in the race.
Made a little change here on the board so you can get a better idea of where everybody's at on tires. Justin Allgaier is the first car on the oldest tires, and you can see all the way back to the top 20 where everybody's at on tires. And what you're looking for is the guys with the least amount of laps on their tires. They're the ones who are going to be running up to the field here through the course of this run.
See Jesse Love, one of those that made a pit stop coming down 20 laps ago. He's able to get to the outside of Cole Custer here.
You see, I mean, for some of them, it's taken a long time to get this far. Right, 20 laps or so to pass up there, and it's not like they're blowing their doors off right now either. I mean, they're quite a bit faster, don't get me wrong, but not like seconds faster. But Brad, you brought it up. This is a solid point you brought up, is that, you know, the last thing those guys that just put tires on is a caution. So they need to race each other very, very smart, which makes the likeliness of a caution coming out not very good anymore, right? Because they're going to be like, man, we can't wreck here because our race will be over. So they back it down a notch. You're not beating each other's doors off and all. It has the feeling right now that this thing could go long.
Yes. You know, there could be a lot of psychology classes on race car drivers. And we talk about this a lot.
And crew chiefs, right?
And crew chiefs. But what's really interesting is how the field all kind of gets on board with the strategy and changes the way they're racing when you see situations like this. We saw it a few weeks back in the Bristol Cup race when we were running out of tires, and the whole field just gets really smooth and slows down and takes care of their tires when they're almost out. Where before that, they ran as hard as they could. So you start to see the drivers adapt to the situation, almost like a school of fish, and they're all adapting at the same time and not getting themselves in trouble. It's really, really interesting to see.
Your analogies have been incredible today.
You didn't have that one on your card either, did you?
I mean, the fish wasn't out there.
I had to go to my third bingo card to get all this stuff in.
But what you're seeing, like from watching this on camera and watching in the booth, you're seeing that the drivers give each other a little bit more room, Joey. You're seeing all these different things happen because they know they do not want to cause a yellow if they are the ones that have new tires. And to your point, that just changes the dynamics of the race.
Now, on the flip side of that, if you're one of those cars that stayed out, well, you're really wanting a caution.
Yes.
Might be the opposite.
Joe Gibbs Racing having a great day. They won here at Richmond 11 times. Chandler Smith leading. Eric Almirola won both stages today. He's second. Good effort for Taylor Gray. Sheldon Creed had the problems. We talked to him earlier. And when you look at short tracks, I mean, not just here at Richmond, but across the board, Martinsville, Bristol, it really, in recent years, has been all about Junior Motorsports and Joe Gibbs Racing. They've won 7 of the last 9 here, those two teams, and 15 of the last 18 overall. And look at the laps led, 3,600 out of the 4,800 run. I mean, it's just complete domination for these two organizations. And they've done it again today when you look at the laps led for Almirola, Chandler Smith, and Justin Allgaier.
It does seem like one of those racetracks. Once you get your head wrapped around how they go fast around here, whether it's a driver or the team with the setup, it seems to last forever once you get it.
Corey Heim, not from Joe Gibbs Racing, but driving a Toyota, and he's been outstanding today. Gets his way around Jesse Love. He's now third.
The cars on the older tires, to your point, Joey, have hung on just a little bit better than they thought they would. They're almost all outside of the top 10 with the exception of Justin Allgaier.
Bubba Pollard into the top 10. Working over Riley Herbst to the 10th position or 9th position, and he gets it. The fresh faces getting it done today at Richmond. Taylor Gray, Bubba Pollard, Never raced Xfinity before this afternoon. 6th and 9th, both in the top 10. Logan Bearden ran his way into the top 10 on those fresher tires at the end of stage 2. He's now 26th. Goes side by side with 41 laps remaining. Smith leads Almirola, Hine, Love, Hill the top 5. It's the NASCAR Xfinity Series from Richmond.
It's down to just 41 laps to go in this Xfinity Series race at Richmond. Chandler Smith trying to win back-to-back at this racetrack and get his second win in the last 3 races so far this season. His teammates right behind him, Eric Almirola in second, Corey Heim is third. Jesse Love up to 4th place, Austin Hill 5th, Taylor Gray 6th, Justin Allgaier 7th, Parker Kligerman in 8th, Bubba Pollard 9th, Riley Herbst is 10th. 11th place for Cole Custer, Parker Retzlaff in 12th, Sammy Smith 13th, AJ Allmendinger 14th, Josh Williams 15th, Shane Van Gisbergen is, make that Matt Benedetto now 16th. 17th place for Shane Van Gisbergen, Kyle Weatherman 18th, Josh Balicki 19th, and Jeb Burton is 20th. Leland Honeyman in 21st, Haley Deegan 22nd, Jeremy Clements 23rd, Garrett Smithley 24th, Ryan Ellis 25th, 26th for Logan Bearden, 27th place for Dawson Cram, and the first car 1 lap down is Brendan Poole in 28th, Kyle Sieg 29th, Anthony Alfredo 30th, Sam Mayer 31st is 2 laps down, Ryan Sieg is out of the race 32nd now, Joey Gase 33rd, Blaine Perkins 34th, Sheldon Crate 35th, Patrick Emerly 36th, Brandon Jones 37th, and Ryan Vargas will finish 38th today. That rounds out the 38-car field. Most laps led, Eric Almirola 95 laps led to this point. Your current race leader, Chandler Smith, has led for 39 laps. Almirola won the first 2 stages as well. Again, the difference is 1.7 seconds between those top 2. We'll take our final ad break of the race. You're listening live on KRC to this NASCAR Xfinity Series ToyotaCare 250 at Richmond. Once again, be sure to hit that like button if you guys have not done so yet. 79 likes on the stream. Our goal is 100, so we're just 21 likes shy, and we're down to just 36 laps to go, so be sure to do that if you guys have not yet. Differentiating pit strategies is the really story of this final stage. A caution came out with 77 to go. We restarted with about 68, 69 laps to go in this race. And the drivers you see at the top of the leaderboard right now, pretty much all of them in the top 6 or 7 in the running order, all have fresher tires. Make that 8 now because Bubba Pollard's up to 8th. So they all have fresher tires. Justin Allgaier in 9th is the first of those that did not pit. They're hoping that we get another caution so then they can flip the strategy by being able to pit because each team only had 1 set of tires left going into the start of the final stage. Each team was given 3 sets at the start of the race. They all took them at the end of stage 1, stage 2, and we got a caution. Again, right around 77 to go in the race, about 20 or so green flag laps into the run, and that's why you see those drivers up at the top of the leaderboard that did pit. Now, the drivers who have yet to pit, if we do get another caution, would include, like I mentioned, Justin Allgaier. I know Cole Custer, Riley Herbst were on that list. A lot of other drivers. I know Shane Van Gisbergen, AJ Allmendinger were also on that list of drivers who have not pit. Now, the big thing is they do have to stay on the lead lap. They could go a lap down, obviously, on these older tires, and then it's not going to matter if caution comes out because they'll have to take the wave around, and they won't even be able to pit. But if they stay on the lead lap to the end of the green flag run, we get a caution between now and the finish of this race, they should be able to cycle back up to the front. And if it comes too late in the race, are they going to have enough time to leapfrog? Because there were only 15 cars that stayed out. 23 on the lead lap right now, so some of those drivers on the older tires have already gone a lap down during the course of this green flag run, which has been right around 30 laps. We'll have to wait and see. It's going to be the longest green flag run of the day if we don't get another caution of 68 laps from green to checker. Longest green flag run right before that was about 48 or 49 laps, which was the restart to stage 2. Restart after the lone caution in stage 2 to the end of stage 2 was our longest green flag run.
Lap fresher tires on the leaders than Jeb does.
Yeah, you're just throttle jockeying that thing on the exit, just pedaling her through there.
That's the challenge of driving one of these cars. There you saw, Joey, to your point, they're lapping cars, the leaders are, and they're starting to slide around not just the leaders, but the lap cars. And this is when trouble can really happen.
But Jim Burton wants the caution because he wants to get the free pass. His teammate Parker Retzlaff wants the caution because he's one of those that didn't pit, has the fresher tires. He would love to come down and take advantage. Right now, the driver that started on the pole is 13th in the race.
Good battle here with Josh Williams.
And we've seen this story before, right, Adam? Where that caution came out and everyone feels like it's too early, and people end the race with a set of tires in the pits.
It's funny, I was down in the garage earlier today, and I surveyed everybody. I said, what do you think? 20, 25 laps into the final stage, you get the caution. Is that when you pit? And every crew chief I talked to locked up, and they're like, I want it to be right in the middle. Obviously, Murphy's Law, 25 laps in, you get the caution, it's decision time, and now you have to live with the consequences.
It's like you knew, Adam.
But it's not over till it's over here. We could get a yellow at any time.
There's Taylor Gray in the 5th position. He's rooting for this thing to stay green, making his first ever start. And if he can come out and finish 5th, man, what a tremendous job that would be. And we see a green flag pit stop. Cole Custer coming in. So they said, you know what? We're not going to wait on a caution. We're going to come down, get the fresh tires, and try to make it up. Regan?
Well, Adam Carter, they're going ahead and pitting right now. Cole was fearful. He had a tire getting ready to come apart. Wasn't 100% certain that it would make it to the end. They ended up having to come to pit road.
So in that situation, if you think you might have a problem, you got to go ahead and come and make it happen. Not totally a strategy call, but a safety call for the driver that won the championship last year and is on a ride of top 5 finishes.
And he's still going to make a lot of ground back if the yellow doesn't come out. With these new tires, he's going to lose a lap for sure, maybe even 2 here. We're trying to figure out where he comes back on the racetrack. He had 2 down, it looks like. But he's going to make that back really quick. I don't know if he'll get back to where he was running. But these new tires are going to be a pretty big advantage.
We saw this happen last year to Justin Allgaier, where they felt like maybe they had a problem, and so they said, let's just cut our losses, go ahead and make the stop, get the fresher tires, and see what we can make up. And he was going to do an unbelievable job of driving back through the field. Unfortunately for Justin, the caution came out, and it kind of spoiled their play. Here's 7 Radio speaking of Justin Allgaier.
Plus, I just pitch. I can't take that chance. I mean, no answer to stay on track all the way to the end. I agree. I'll just let you know.
Yeah, as a spotter saying, hey, some cars are starting to pay. He's queuing off of Cole Custer when he pitted, not knowing the full story that we heard about him coming in for the possible tire going down.
But he does bring up a good point. Remember, we saw this earlier with Sheldon Creed. These guys have not had to run super long on tires. Maybe the tires will start to come apart.
And that would throw a whole new wrench into the plan.
Yeah, but if you're going to pit 2 under green, you got to give it plenty of time to play out and work, right? Now we're down to 22 laps to go.
Laps to fully recover for sure.
Yeah, at this point, you know, if you didn't pit under green at this point, you've made your bed. You were banking on a caution late. And here comes Cole Custer. He's going to get one of his laps back here.
Yeah, this gets him to 1 lap down as he goes around race leader Chandler Smith.
Which is key. If you're 2 laps down and the caution comes out, that's the death penalty right there. That's going to be tough to be able to recover from 2 laps down.
So Cole Custer right here, 2 seconds a lap faster than the leaders.
Man, he is just flying through there on those tires.
So, you know, if he maintains that, which he's not going to because the tires are going to fall off, he would go win the race. But the tires will fall off, and it'll go to maybe a half second to a second faster.
Coming up next, it's an MLB opening weekend showdown between 2 of the most explosive teams in the league as Ronald Acuna Jr. and the Braves take on Bryce Harper and the Phillies right here on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Looking forward to baseball. Talked a lot about Taylor Gray today up in the top 5. He's a big Braves fan, so we'll hop out of the car and check it out here on FS1.
The speed difference of Cole Custer right now on his new tires is remarkable as he's just blowing by cars. But like you said, Brad, I'm interested to see where he gets back to Justin Allgaier, right? Because Justin's staying out. What would the difference be?
5 miles per hour difference on these tires for Custer over
Now that's
Chandler.
everywhere around the track. He's 5 mile an hour. That's not just one spot.
Right.
It's 5 mile an hour every bit around the racetrack. So that's really impressive.
And that's average mile an hour around the racetrack.
Taylor Gray continues to work. Jumps in front of fellow rookie Jesse Love. Custer around his teammate.
I love our Fox graphics here that can really compare it. So here's Cole Custer on new tires against our leader, Chandler Smith. And this is what we say 5 mile an hour faster over the course of a lap. This is what it looks like. Such a great representation.
Top left. Custer's coming back around and trying to get himself on the lead lap. Going by Sammy Smith, who's on the lead lap, scored 9th. Sammy right now a good bit back from race leader Chandler Smith. So still a lot of ground to make up for Custer, but if it stays green, he's going to pay some dividends on that pit stop, I do believe, especially if you consider that could have lost the tire, which would have really taken them out of contention to have any kind of a finish today.
15 laps to go. Quick update here. Again, the top 5, a 2.5 second lead for Chandler Smith over Eric Almirola. 7.4 seconds off the lead is Corey Hyman third. 8.8 seconds off the lead is Taylor Gray in fourth, and Jesse Love rounds out the top 5 at 10 seconds off the race lead. 14 laps to go and counting, and the lead continues to grow between Smith and Almirola.
Stay in that lucky dog position, and it shows the speed that Chandler Smith's got in that race car and how good of a job he's done saving his tires, because he's doing that and still driving away from Eric Almirola.
Goes by A.J. Allmendinger, putting him a lap down. That means there's 13 cars on the lead lap as we highlight Bubba Pollard.
Bubba's done a good job. We said it, how hard it is to jump into a car like this, and now, to run into the top 10 in your first race, a track that's challenging like Richmond, he's got to be happy about that.
So you look at the notable debuts for drivers, and tell you what, here at Richmond, Ryan Blaney, 7th. Cole Custer, talked about him during our practice qualifying show earlier today, was driving for Junior Motorsports. Noah Gregson was incredible when he came here for the very first time.
So I was in that race with Ryan Blaney's debut, and he was so impressive. I left and called Roger Penske and said, yeah, you need to hire this guy. And a few months later, he was driving my truck and had a contract with Roger Penske. So that goes to show you a good debut race means a lot. Or can mean a lot.
He's still getting residuals on that? He's a NASCAR Cup champion.
I'm not, but he did the work, not me. But it certainly is impressive. Bubba Ballard just keeps his way forward here up to 7.
Yeah, he's been working on Parker Kligerman here for the last 15 laps or so, trying to get to. There's Austin Hill right there in front of him. And I think this is just some short track racing right here where he's done a good job at saving his tires. These late model guys, this is it. Because you think about it, they run these 100-lap features or whatever, and they got to run the same set of tires the whole time. Yes. So they have to manage their car, and that's where they've gotten better than, I think, some of the Xfinity guys that don't have to save tires very often anymore. And you kind of fall out of that skill set a little bit because you don't do it all the time, and that's where his shining moment is coming through right now.
But think about the contracts, and I would tell this to any young racer. Last week we were in COTA, and you've got these drivers like Shane Bankes. We're going to have all that experience of road course racing, big heavy cars and stock cars, and really excel at it. And we come to a challenge like Richmond, which is kind of a 180-degree challenge, right? You got to take care of the car, take care of the tires. Having a short track racing background can really pay off. And that's what makes it so hard to be a really good NASCAR race car driver. You got to be able to do both. You got to be able to run good on those road courses and find that speed and make pace. And then in these situations, you got to be able to take care of the tires.
I mean, there's everything. And then you have mile-and-a-half tracks that are completely different than what we see here in Richmond. Shoot, we used to have dirt on the schedule. You had to figure out how to do that, too. And that's what's, to me, as a race car driver, is so attractive about NASCAR racing.
Well, we got a slow car, 1 and 2.
Haley Deegan trying to stay out of the way. Hopefully For Chandler Smith's sake, that does not produce a caution.
I don't think she's going to get back, guys.
I don't think so either.
I don't think she's going to get back. This might be our yellow.
We saw this late last year. I think it was Jeremy Clements who had a problem. Couldn't get all the way back around. It brought out the caution, changed everything. 6 to go for Chandler Smith.
Oh, it's going to be really close here.
No power. She's going to barely make it on the pit road.
Chandler Smith is really smiling.
Chandler Smith, a really big fan of Haley Deegan right now, getting back to her pit box so we don't get a caution.
That would have changed everything dramatically.
Allgaier is like, oh, so close.
Yes.
5 remaining at Richmond. Think about Chandler Smith when it comes to Richmond. 2 years ago, driving in the Craftsman Truck Series, dominates and wins. Comes back here last year, is a rookie in the Xfinity Series, driving for Colleague, delivers again, won a stage, led more than 80 laps, and picked up the checkered flag. It's 4 laps away from going back-to-back.
You guys, he's lapped
3.9 second lead here for Chandler Smith, and he has lapped nearly everybody who would have needed the fresh tires with another caution that did not pit during the last yellow that we had. Justin Allgaier, I think, is the last of which that are actually still on the lead lap. He is in 10th, and he is the last car in the lead lap at 25.5 seconds off the race lead. Battle for third place on screen going between a couple Toyotas, Corey Heim, Taylor Gray. If Gray can get by him, it'll be a 1-2-3 finish for Joe Gibbs Racing today. Gray is going to nearly complete the pass through turns 1 and 2. A lot of lap traffic still to navigate between these two, and yes, he does complete the pass. Justin Allgaier about to go a lap down, trying to put a fight to Chandler Smith for it, but on much older tires, it obviously is not going to pan out for him. 2 laps to go in the stage. Allgaier first car a lap down. And Riley Herbst looking to get around him for that 10th place position as well, just behind him. Josh Williams in 12th, right there as well. One of his better runs of the season. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. The longest green flag run of the day will be the last one, and Chandler Smith in the 81. Getting closer to a victory. This will be back-to-back wins at Richmond, and it'll be 2 wins in the last 3 races this season. He'll match himself with the most wins this year at 2 apiece, with points leader coming into the day, Austin Hill. Though the points Chandler Smith scored here, I think he might actually be the points leader. He was 9 points back coming in. Checker flag. Chandler Smith wins, dominates the final stage today after Eric Almirola wins the first 2 stages. 4.4 second margin of victory for Smith over Almirola, who finishes second. 80.2 mile per hour average race speed. 250 lap was our scheduled distance. That's what we ended up running, as we did not have overtime today. 2 hours, 18 minutes, 35 seconds total time on this race as well. Only 9 cars finished on the lead lap. Eric Almirola led the most laps with 95 laps led 4 different times. 76 laps led for Chandler Smith, who goes on to win the race. That was the second most of any other driver. In total, we ended up seeing 7 different drivers lead at least 1 lap in the race. And we ended up seeing 15 lead changes amongst those 7 drivers throughout the course of this one. 6 cautions total, 4 for incident, 1 in the final stage, and again a 68-lap green flag run to the checker. Last one was the longest. All right, so here we go. Get an interview with Chandler Smith, and then we'll go over the finishing order following that.
Good day for Kligerman. Austin Hill has his top 5 streak in, but he's top 10 again. Sammy Smith, and we talked about Cole Custer, complete the top 10.
pretty good burnout when those tires are come apart.
Allgaier just outside the top 10. Josh Williams finishes 12th today. It's a great pairing. Chandler Smith, first year at Joe Gibbs Racing, with Jeff Mendering, a veteran crew chief who's had success with so many drivers. Third career win for the 21-year-old from Talking Rock, Georgia. Back in the Toyota family and back to victory lane. Let's hear from him, Josh.
Chandler Smith, your first career Xfinity Series win came here at Richmond. You return and you back it up with another one. What can you say about today's performance?
All glory to God, first and foremost. Easter weekend, tomorrow, single most importantly, probably the most important day in all of world history. So make sure to be with your family and your kids if you got kids. Speaking of kids, I cannot wait to get and see my kids. They're here today, my wife, my sons, and I'm ready to celebrate with them. But never give up, never give up. This car was not good stage one, wasn't good stage two, but we were able to do some strategy there with our Mobile 1 GR Supra, and this thing was fast as Xfinity Internet then when it counted.
What can you say about the statement that this 81 team is making this season? 2 wins, top 10 in every single race. You guys are on one right now.
Yeah, all glory to God, man. I mean, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be surrounded by all these great men and women at Joe Gibbs Racing. Wouldn't be with the greatest manufacturer, Toyota, back home with them. This is great. I mean, I'm back winning races here consistently on a consistent basis. I think we took over the points lead again today, too, so I'm just blessed. I'm beyond blessed. I can't wait to get to victory lane, celebrate with my guys, my wife, my kids. It's going to be a good day, and then get up tomorrow and go to church.
Chandler Smith, your winner at Richmond.
Eric Almirola comes home in second place today, part of a Joe Gibbs Racing 1-2-3 finish. I know that's not the position you wanted there. What did you lack at the end of that race?
Well, we just got a little bit too loose. The run before that in stage 2, when I took off, my car was really, really good. And at the end, just built a little bit tight. And that last run, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's different set of tires or what, but I paced myself. I let Chandler go. And then when I started to try and just creep back to him, I didn't have anything to go with. I was too loose in, and I couldn't get the throttle down on exit. So hate that to win both stages and feel like we had the dominant car, and then to let it slip away there at the end is disappointing. But so fun this weekend, coming back to Richmond 18 years after making my first start for Coach, and he gets us on the car on Easter weekend. So it's been amazing to see what God's done in my life over the last 20 years since I got that phone call from Coach and JD to come drive for them. And I really wanted to put this thing in victory lane today for them, but it's going to have to wait.
You've been a big part of Joe Gibbs Racing this year about helping the younger guys. I saw you congratulate Taylor Gray as he got over here. What's it mean to see that 1-2-3 finish as a company?
Well, it's huge. I think a lot of people just don't realize how much work goes into the organization over the offseason to get it to where it's at. And, to add a whole 4th team to the organization was a huge undertaking. So just really proud of all the men and women back at the shop at Joe Gibbs Racing and everybody for working so hard to get a 4th team up and going and to have the speed that we've had every single week. One of our cars can win every single weekend. So it's a lot of fun to come to the racetrack like this, and looking forward to Martinsville. Martinsville's going to be a lot of fun. It's been a great racetrack for Joe Gibbs Racing and one of my favorite racetracks. So we'll go there and try and go one spot better than this weekend.
Thanks, Eric.
So there you go. Eric Almirola will be running next weekend. We'll go through the finishing results of this weekend's race, of course, at Richmond, the ToyotaCare 250. Chandler Smith again with the win, 4.4 second margin of victory over Eric Almirola in second. Taylor Gray third, 1-2-3 finish for Joe Gibbs Racing. 1-2-3-4 finish for Toyota is Corey Heim for Hunt Brothers Racing, ends up finishing in fourth. Jesse Love with a 5th place run, and Bubba Pollard in Xfinity Series debut was the highest finisher of the JRM Chevys. He finishes in 6th. Parker Kligerman finishes 7th, Austin Hill 8th, and last car on the lead lap was Sammy Smith finishing in 9th. Cole Custer with a 10th place run today, 1 lap down. Justin Allgaier fell back late, finishes 11th. 12th place finish for Josh Williams. Riley Herbst 13th. AJ Allmendinger 14th, and Shane Van Gisbergen rounds out the top 15. 16th place finish for Parker Retzlaff. Kyle Weatherman 17th. Matt DiBenedetto 18th. Josh Bilicki 19th, and Leland Honeyman finishes in 20th. Garrett Smithley, 21st. Logan Bearden, 22nd. Kyle Sieg, 23rd. Jeremy Clements, 24th. Dawson Cram, 25th. 26th place finish for Jeb Burton, Ryan Ellis 27th. Brandon Poole finishes 28th. Anthony Alfredo 29th. And Sam Mayer rounds out the top 30. Haley Deegan had a power issue there late, finishes 31st. Lost power, I should say, in the closing laps, finishes 31st. Ryan Seek 32nd. Blaine Perkins 33rd. Joey Gase 34th. Sheldon Creed 35th. Patrick Emerly 36th. Brandon Jones 37th. Ryan Vargas 38th. Another quick interview here before the stream gets out. I paused the TV, so this has already taken place, but let you listen into this. Taylor Gray, your third place finisher.
As you grow and get better.
I mean, a lot of things, right? I mean, you saw the little mistakes I made, and it just shows you, the difference, right? You go from truck racing, and your pit road's not as crowded. You're not racing in people's tight off pit road, and then you leave pit road, or you come to the Xfinity Series, or Cup Series is even worse, and you're racing people on pit road so much tighter and things like that. So I need to clean up that on my end. Again, apologize to the one group in JRM. Obviously, that was the last thing I intended, was to tear up the race car and ruin their day. So, again, I apologize to them, but, I can't hang my head too low. I mean, such a great day for us.
Third place finish for Taylor Gray. Regan?
Bubba Pollard comes home sixth in his Xfinity Series debut. You told me before the race you'd be happy with 10th to 15th. I got to imagine you're very happy right now.
Yeah, I just got us behind in qualifying there and made for a long day, but these guys give me a good race car. Junior Motorsports, Andrew, TJ did a great job on top of the box, and I needed that green flag run just to kind of get in a rhythm. This place is tough. It's technical. It's probably one of the tougher places I've been to, and I've been to a lot of places, but yeah, I mean, if I wouldn't have got us behind, I think, we'd have had a top five, and I'm happy with it. I enjoyed it. I had fun, and hopefully them fans enjoyed it too.
So you enjoyed it. You got some experience out there. You figured out the tires, everything you needed to do. Do we get to see you again in one of these as good as that run was?
I hope so. I hope, hopefully, we can find some sponsorship and maybe go to some different places later on in the year, maybe next year or something. But, yeah, the door's open. If we can have any sponsors jump on board, we'd love to have them.
Thanks, Bubba. Nice job.
Well, Corey Heim comes home fourth place today. Strong performance from start to finish all around. What can you say about what you guys were able to do?
Yeah, just super proud of Sam Hunt Racing. The Skier and Steer Super was so good throughout the day. Definitely a huge step in the right direction compared to where we've been this year. So super grateful for everyone over at that organization and Toyota Racing. Super good feeling just to know that we had a car capable of winning today. I feel like we have a couple things to clean up. I feel like we didn't have the track position at the end, but super grateful for everyone involved, and it's good momentum going forward.
You got a number of starts under your belt now in the Xfinity Series. What's the biggest growth for you? What's the biggest thing you've learned over this time?
It's just about reps. With the truck, I've got almost like 50 starts now, and it almost feels like second nature hopping in one of those things. But it's sort of a mental reset, getting in an Xfinity car and trying to make this thing go as fast as Xfinity 10G. But it's definitely a different world out here, and there's a lot of good drivers. So I've got some work to do myself to get there.
Strong run for Corey Heim, Regan.
Jesse Love continues to impress in his rookie season, a fifth-place finish today. Jesse, what did you think about this Richmond racetrack, and how challenging was it?
It was very, very hard. It was kind of whooped my butt there for a while. But, man, that restart, I was like, if we're going to go as fast as Xfinity Internet, it's going to be right now, because that was going to be, if it did go green, it was going to mean everything. And it's pretty hard to pass here. So, we struggled with our wheel and Chevrolet today, like, no doubt. Wasn't our best showing, but I feel like what's made us really good is taking days where we're flat out just not great and just not giving up and gambling a little bit and coming out on somewhat better terms than what we could have been. So wanted to run good for my buddy Brent's birthday. We're missing our guy Don John today. Hope him and his dog are doing all right. But man, I'm looking forward to coming back, and I think we know what to do different next time, because there's definitely work to be done. But we get to go race for $100,000 next week.
As you continue to have these good runs, what does that do for your confidence as a rookie when you show up at places that you've never seen before?
It's hard, and this has been the hardest place for sure. I'm not much for saving tires. My dirt background isn't very keen to that, so it's hard for me to save tires, and it's just like managing the racetrack, just like managing the golf course. It's so hard, and you got to be so disciplined. And I wasn't the best at it today, but I'm going to get better. We're going to get our Chevrolet better, and hopefully when we come back, be even stronger.
Thanks, Jesse.
Boatload of interviews there. I think they're going a little bit past their allotted time for airtime today, in large part due to the Braves and Phillies game that's supposed to take place seems to be under a weather delay. So We will get to the end of this stream, I guess, right now. The only thing I have to promote is tomorrow's stream. We have one more race yet this weekend. The NASCAR Cup Series will be taking place at Richmond Raceway on an Easter Sunday night. Our stream coverage for tomorrow's race will begin at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Truck Series again off this weekend, so this is the last stream for today of our doubleheader for Easter Saturday, but Easter Sunday on the holiday, we will be live again 6:30 Eastern tomorrow night. Hopefully you enjoyed today's Flag the Flag coverage of this NASCAR Xfinity Series ToyotaCare 250, and hopefully you enjoyed the commentary we had also earlier this morning for practice and qualifying for the NASCAR Cup side of things. Hope to see you guys tomorrow night. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. Enjoy your Easter lunch/dinner, and I'll see you back better than ever tomorrow night for another live commentary stream. Didn't quite get to our goal of 100 likes today, but if you do, I would much so appreciate it if you hit the like button and also subscribe for more NASCAR content on the way out as the road to 5,000 subscribers continues right here on KRC. Hope to see you soon. See you tomorrow. Thanks for watching, everybody.